Grand Prix here in Paul Ricard. Then this is going to be a cracking race, isn't it? As you can see, we've got a track layout just in front of us now. 15 turns around the 3.6 mile circuit. This is going to be a great race, isn't it? We had a great Grand Prix last night as well, didn't we? It was a very tough race as well, which is nothing unusual around here. It can be a very brutal race in terms of the weather and things like that, can it? So it's going to be very, very interesting indeed. And as I'm just waiting to see what is occurring on the Facebook stream, and not a lot is by the looks. Oh dear. Right then, let's quickly fix that, shall we? Then so we are in the session. Am I spectatoring? I am spectatoring. Then we are about to get going then for the French Grand Prix here in Paul Ricard as well. It used to be in the It used to be in Manicourt, didn't it? Not too long ago, but I'd say not too long ago, back in 2008. There we go then. So just take a look at the comments as well. Good evening, everyone from Bradfield. Hello, Bradfield. You can tell that I'm not with it at the moment, so I'm trying to fix the old Facebook thing. We've had a bit of a dilemma here by the looks. And let me quickly turn it off and turn it back on and see what occurs then. Because at the moment it's not going at all well, is it? But oh well, there we go. These things happen then. I've got a good job I work in IT, and otherwise I will be absolutely bricking myself here because it's not going at all well at the moment, is it? Oh goodness gracious me! We're almost ready to get going in the session then as well. I'm really looking forward to this one because the French Grand Prix has a bit of a bad rapport, doesn't it, in terms of the real life? But in league racing, it is absolutely splendid. It really is indeed, isn't it? So you can see we're now transitioning now onto the track in the background. I'm just waiting for us to get going as well. Look at this. And you can see, I think Gordo tell us it was about 168, 169, 169 versions of this track. It's absolutely incredible, isn't it? Absolutely incredible, really good stuff indeed. And it's a very good test track, not very good at racetrack, haven't said that, but the league racing on here is magnificent, isn't it? So I am just trying to get me old, there we go, lovely jubbly indeed then. I've got to say, I'm about to give myself a self high five here because I think I've fixed it. Lovely stuff indeed then. So you can see then the pit garages then are ready to get going then. Look at this then, there is not a queue to get out at the moment. It's beautiful sunshine as well out there. Absolutely lovely stuff indeed then. Really good stuff then. Really good stuff indeed then. So as you can see then, we got the Ferrari mechanics, Mercedes mechanics, the Red Bull mechanics are all standing and ready to get going then for the start of the French Grand Prix then. So here we go then, and this is going to be a good one, I feel. Right then, let's quickly take a look at the facts then and all that kind of jazz then, and this is how it's running at the moment then. So we have Cirrus Mushroom, who has the fastest ever lap around here, over 1:31.039. Then good stuff indeed there from Cirrus Mushroom. Is that going to be broken here tonight? We'll find out. This was the start of German's incredible championship campaign, wasn't it? Where he and Haas got 8 Grand Prix wins in a row. As Emerson told me earlier on there, I think that he's getting a bit fed up of me saying that, isn't he? But I think the fed up is probably a bit of a rude way of saying it. He didn't say he was getting fed up of it, but he says that I keep saying that a lot there. But of course I say that a lot because I think it's absolutely fantastic achievement, isn't it? It really is indeed then, and I get very excited about stuff like that, as Gordo is using all the track and then some there. There's a bit of a car park down there, isn't there? As Gordo is driving the Haas, which won this event last time out then. Pole position was actually a rookie last season who kind of was here and gone in a jiffy. It was Bills. So unfortunately, Bills didn't stay for the longevity of ALR, did he? And the season before, Paulie Orange won the Grand Prix. Are we going to get a third? We will get a new Grand Prix winner again here tonight, then in silver. But who will it be? Well, let's find out. Well, before we do so, let's take a look at the drivers and the constructors standings. It is Troy who's leading the championship at the moment. 27 points. He is over a win and a fastest lap point in front of Gamer, who's second at the moment. Unfortunately, Gamer can't be here tonight then. And, of course, we're looking forward to seeing Gamer back in the car. It doesn't feel right when Gamer's not in here, especially as he has been absolutely magnificent since the get-go of the start of this championship. Welsh Maldonado, the first ever female racer to win in ALR. She won in silver on International Women's Day last Monday. Great stuff indeed. Then I got to say, absolutely brilliant stuff, and I like stuff like that. There, it just shows, doesn't it, of how funny things could be sometimes. That was a brilliant time there from Maldonado, but she has also propelled herself up to third position in the Drivers' Championship as well. 93 points behind Troy at the moment. Her teammate Curly Red, another great drive last time out as well. He's moved up into fourth position. Then Nigel Moon himself in the fifth as well. New Potato dropping down a position. Then Wilson dropping down 4 positions. Same with Cirrus Mushroom as well, dropping down 4 positions. Steve down 3, and Gordo, as we're on board with now, also dropped down 1 position then. And the constructors standings, and Renault have now leapfrogged the Mercedes team, and they are now leading the constructors for both gold and silver as it stands at the moment. Mercedes are 34 points back. Red Bull are in third position, and they are 120 points back from the leaders, 86 points away from the Mercedes team. And McLaren have jumped out 2 positions while they've gone, they're now 7 points in front of Ferrari, 7 points behind Red Bull. Ferrari is in 5th position. Williams have gone up into 6th position. Good stuff indeed. The Haas team are on board with one of the Haas cars now. They're 7th, and Alfa Romeo 8th, AlphaTauri in 9th, and Racing Point are in 10th position. And Racing Point are once again in the news in ALR here tonight, as we got a new driver for Racing Point. We've also got a new driver for the Mercedes team as well. So we'll go through both those drivers, and when they emerge out onto the track, which one person has already, it is Jake the Slayer. Jake the Slayer then, a lovely helmet there from Jake the Slayer. Good design indeed, and he's filling in for Sean Hammers then. So Jake the Slayer is now a driver for the Mercedes team for the foreseeable future. Then good stuff indeed to see Jake back in at silver as well. This is his This is a third Grand Prix star in ALR Silver. His best finish position has not been in the top 10 just yet for Jake the Slayer, but I assume that I think he'll want to put that right here tonight. And indeed, I think he will. Then he's a quick customer, and he just underlines that. Then he's done a 28.8 there, a couple of tenths of a second in front of Wilson in second position. And good stuff indeed then, as he's already starting to slay, isn't he? And the other driver making his debut tonight, but we'll talk about him in just a while then. But he's quite a familiar name if you've been following ALR for quite a period of time. And he seems to. You can't get rid of the driver, can you? So we thought we got rid of him from gold, and he is back in silver now, isn't he? But there we go. Here's young Tommy making his debut tonight, and good to see young Tommy. Of course, all of you weekend night racing fans will know a lot about young Tommy. Then, of course, remember we do have a merger, don't we? Not a merger, a partnership, I should say, between the weekend night racing and ALR. And young Tommy there is a part of that partnership as well. It's great to see him in driving tonight in the Williams there as well. So let's see what young Tommy can do. At the moment, he's invalidated his time, so he's going to have another bite of the cherry, isn't he? So as it stands, then, we've got Welsh Maldonado going for a second bite of the cherry as well. Slayer leads, is at fast at the moment. Wilson second, Gordo in third, Ayrton fourth, and Baz is in fifth position at the moment. And I think Baz is going for a second run now. He is indeed at 1.6 seconds up in the first sector time, and now down the long back straight. There's a chicane. It splits this long straight up. Then let's quickly go for the for the comment, shall we? It's Emerson then, who's very happy he's got the first. He's normally first on track, but tonight he is first in the comments there. Good stuff indeed. Wilson is second, Gordo third, then Welsh Maldonado is not very happy at that at all. Then as Bradfield, good evening everyone. Good evening, Bradfield there. Welsh Maldonado was refreshing that like a mad woman, wasn't she? Ayrton saying hello, Sean. Good evening, Ayrton. Formula Moments then saying, yo, Gurman reckons it's going to be a wet race, or does he know something that I don't? He probably does, because I don't know much about anything really. Here's Baz then into the final couple of turns as well. Now into turn 15, then out of turn 15, and as you can see, look at those tents there on the just on the outside of the turn 15 there. Got to say, it's very interesting. Looks like a big old gazebo, doesn't it? Baz goes across the line, goes second fastest. Good 7D. Welsh Maldonado, a much cleaner lap this time then for our newest race winner in silver. She comes across the line and she goes fastest there, 28 38.6, 2 tenths of a second now. Of course, when you see a driver win their first Grand Prix, they break through the glass ceiling, don't they? And I think that Wildnada might be propelling herself up to new heights then. At the moment, the top two of Troy and Gamer. Unfortunately, Gamer's not here tonight, but Troy and Gamer have run away with the championship so far. I think that they might have to be concerned about Welsh Maldonado in the foreseeable future, especially if she carries on that momentum as well. Bradfield's starting his lap, then Curly is on an out lap as well, but we're keeping an eye on young Tommy then, as we've already mentioned, making his debut here tonight, isn't he then? And he is now coming in to 15 and 16 as well. And Formula 1 said TRL Limitless, as you can see, back on F1 2020 as always then. And cut it to the line then, young Tommy is 7th fastest at the moment, and the slowest of the times thus far in the Williams. Bradfield is in the middle part, of course, and by the looks of it, he accelerates away. We've got Mercedes just about to finish, and that is Brabham. Brabham is also, this is not his debut tonight for Brabham, because he has driven in a couple of the Silver Grand Prix before. Let me quickly get him the stats, and his last race he did race for us was back in the, I think it was the French Grand Prix last season, if I'm not very much mistaken. Brabham's gone 7th fastest. Indeed it is then. Brabham raced in France back in season 1 with a 16th place finish there for Brabham, so hopefully he can get himself into the points well. Mercedes needs him in the points as well tonight, as they're starting to be cut adrift slightly, aren't they? The Mercedes team from this great yellow this yellow car. It's absolutely like a freight train in all of ALR at the moment, whether that's gold or silver and potentially even bronze as well. And that's a beautiful segue, isn't it? As Bradfield has gone full fast. It's a beautiful segue because tomorrow night, presented by the bronze admins of Ayrton and Curly, who are in the race tonight, will be of course live on YouTube then to do the driver lineup then, which is good stuff indeed. Then of course there's all the bronze drivers are going to be watching and waiting to see who they're going to be partnering and what cars they are going to be in as well. It's a very important time, isn't it? Because if you like the car, you will like the season, I'm sure. BP coming down the back straight as well. Curly is already he's just coming on the back straight as well, and so we're keeping on what BP can do then. He had a very good start to his silver career, didn't he? He got a podium on his debut there, but unfortunately last time out in the Canadian Grand Prix it didn't go too well, did it? Bradfield saying that Emerson always comes first. Laugh out loud. Dylan saying good evening, Dylan. Maldonado, not when it comes to Monaco. Oh goodness me, there's a lot of banter in the comments tonight. I absolutely adore the banter as well. Maybe I should just say love rather than adore, but there we go. I don't know. I'm just full of love tonight, then perhaps because I've oh goodness me. Well, I've had a couple of I bought a bag of nuts today, but unfortunately it's I thought it would be the cashew nuts, but it's really not. It's the salt and vinegar nuts. So I was in a happy mood, and then it's just really put me on a dampener, unfortunately. But there we go. That's kind of my world I live in. I get really upset when I buy the wrong nuts. And BP goes across the line. He's done a 29.0. Then Serious Mushroom just comes across the line. He has done a 29.1. Then very quick times indeed. Then as they come across the line, impressive stuff indeed. Then and here he is. Then it is Farf. He had one start in silver up to this point. He's gone very wide. Then so Farf on his debut for silver has already invalidated his time. So he's given me next to no time to talk about Farf. He is a 3-time Grand Prix winner in gold. Farf is his last Grand Prix win was actually back in season 2 of ALR, so before silver or bronze was even created. He did drive in bronze last season, didn't he, to begin with? Then he stepped aside. He also stepped aside in gold this season as well to have some of the reserve drivers have more of a run, more of a chance of racing. So good stuff indeed there for Farf, but he is now in silver. So let's see what Farf can do then. So it's good stuff to see Farf in silver. His last race he did drive in. He got a start, but unfortunately he didn't go very far after that. I think he had some technical gremlins. So hopefully Farf will have a much better run of things tonight. TK's involved this time as well. So we're going to stay with Nigel, another former gold driver. Goodness me. It just shows how competitive silver is at the moment. Amazing stuff, isn't it? And at German, that's already been confirmed. Then is that about the weather? Goodness me, I love the weather. For the moment, saying that we'll try and do my best for you, ex-gamer. We've also got Gordo saying I'm rather scared. Then Bradfield got a podium Saturday. Time to take him seriously. German saying he wouldn't be surprised. Gordo saying 167 layouts. And yes, indeed. Then Dylan saying Jake the Slayer is racing with those big old eyes. And yes, indeed he is. And it's good to see Jake the Slayer in his second Grand Prix start in ALR Silver. So good stuff indeed. Then toughest there, but I think the first race he had was quite a number of a number of races ago as well. On board Nigel then, the first ever ALR World Champion. And young Tommy, evening, you lot then. Good evening, young Tommy. Serious Mushroom, is this a gold, silver, and bronze mishmash? Then I gotta say it is, isn't it? And I think that's why silver is super competitive at the moment. So we got a lot of race winners from bronze, a lot of race winners from gold, and now we got a lot of race winners from silver. It's absolutely great, isn't it? This category is at the moment. Nigel goes a tenth of a second slower than Troy at the moment. Brilliant stuff indeed. Then I'm sweating bullets. Then I think it's because we had a problem with this stream then on Facebook. And I gotta say, I'm not a man who's very good at the pressure. It's that I need to I'm probably need to get Queen on the case as well, and then start singing under pressure. That'd probably make it worse, actually, won't it? But there we go. I think we haven't got any of our clever. Well, I say clever. I basically just copied and pasted the link off the interweb. Well, unfortunately, we haven't got any of that on Facebook here tonight. Then, but never mind. As long as you've got the action, that's all that matters, isn't it? To me, all that matters to me and you, though. We got no game on the Facebook though. Oh gosh, there. I'll worry about that later on. So. I'm not sure why then. I gotta say, I think I plugged my USB in the wrong port tonight. I think I usually plug into the back of my laptop, but tonight I decided to plug it into the right hand side. Perhaps maybe I should just stick to what I know then. Young Tommy is out on the circuit about into the final part, of course. FIFA Beefy, he is feeling very good, I think, at the moment, isn't he? FIFA Beefy is, because he's got rid of some of the a lot of the tracks now, hasn't he? That he doesn't like. And I think this part of the season, and I heard a lot of the drivers talking about it in their pre-race briefing earlier on then about the tracks coming up, and a lot of drivers are looking forward to this section of the courses, and there's a lot of good ones in. Young Tommy's gone in front of a very experienced Serious Mushroom. Now that's a very impressive time there for Tommy. Great stuff indeed then. FIFA coming out of the chicane as well, down the middle part there. As I just having a look down as well. Serious Mushroom saying good luck in the Williams Tommy as well. Good stuff indeed. Serious Mushroom is very much a team player, isn't he? He's a very good race driver as well, but he's also a very good team player. Very unusual to see that, isn't it? So good stuff indeed there from Serious Mushroom there. Is just cheering on his Williams compatriot here. Great stuff indeed. We have got just saying, look down. Goodness gracious me, you guys are very chatty tonight. Lovely stuff indeed then. As the Haas is a goated. They are indeed. Far saying let's have party. Farf baby is here. Oh goodness me then. I've saved my wet set over me dry today. Grr. Serious Mushroom might be a bit disappointed that I'm trying to wait to see if we've got confirmation about whether we've got a wet race or not. FIFA Beefy has gone into 8 fastest in the Ferrari with just under 3 minutes to go. BP is fairly happy with his time then. It's a good improvement there for BP actually, because he's moved himself up into third position. What about New Potato then? New Potato comes across the line. He is fastest then on a 28-2-2-3. Yellow flags in turn 1 then. New Potato, the first ever bronze world champion. He's only had 1 race win in silver, which I find absolutely astounding then, because this man is quick, isn't he? But he just seems to have the rub of the green now. He probably could have and should have had 2 Grand Prix wins to his name, really, shouldn't he? Who's in the drop zone at the moment then? Ayrton is going to be a bit concerned, and so is Gordo as well. Gordo is out on circuit. Wilson might be pulled into that battle as well. Farf out on circuit. We got Farf and TK then, who are now on quite close company as well. Hashtag Tommy for president then. Gordo saying that lap was horrid as well from him earlier on then. Jay Wilson is all dry, cloudy towards the end, but no rain then. That's what I like to hear, or is that not what I like to hear is the question. I do love the rain. I absolutely last night it really was great, wasn't it? And of course, German, who was very unlucky in the Grand Prix in Canada, was absolutely amazing, wasn't he, last night? They nailed the strategy to absolute perfection there. Made a good stuff indeed then, and I think that German's been very unlucky that that's his first Grand Prix win as well. I'm thinking back then to Canada and also to China as well then. But German really does love this circuit, doesn't he? Won in silver this time last season. Now he's won in gold as well last night. So who is going to... so really, this was quite a crucial race last season in the World Championship, wasn't it? As it really put German on his way to success, didn't it? But we didn't know that back then, of course, because the championship was very much wide open then, as it is again this season, I feel then. But Troy needs to be stopped, I think, quite sooner rather than later if anyone wants to get in close to him. TK is 8 fast as well then in the Haas. Gordo's improved to 12th position, and Farf has improved to 13th in the racing point as well. I thought Farf might be a bit further up, then Brabbit is having some issues there. Look at the understeer on the car. He's going to have to try and get some more time out of that Mercedes at the moment, but that is not good enough at the moment then for Brabbit. And Serious Mushroom then is out on circuit as well. He's also being dragged into this in this relegation battle. I'm loving this at the moment. It's very tight in the midfield, isn't it? Farf is looks like he might be in a serious bit of trouble, Farf, because he's done a time, but he's only 13 fast amount. And we've got the likes of Serious Mushroom, Baz, Ayrton, Wilson, Brabbit, and Billet also out on the course as well. Then, so this is going to be, there's going to be some tears, I think, here tonight in the French Grand Prix. Here's Serious Mushroom coming down the back straight as well, hitting the speed trap absolutely stupendously, accelerating, and then out of turn on as well. Then, and look at that, riding the curve beautifully well. Then, he's on his way as well, coming up to turn 11 now. Look at the heat haze coming off of the tarmac. It is very hot out here. Good stuff indeed. As Jake Slayer is saying, he's always enjoyed the race here when he's reserved fed. Dylan is saying he can't wait for the draw tomorrow in bronze. Yes, of course it is tomorrow night, Bronson. So we've gone back to old school, haven't we? Where we've got ALR, which is on a Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday now, isn't it? Good grief, man! We can't get enough of ALR, can we? And of course, here's the draw tomorrow, presented by Ayrton and Curly there, as they are drawing out to the fate of the drivers. Then, goodness me, then it's quite a honour, really, isn't it? Serious Russian goes across the line, good 70. Then what about Gordo, who's coming into the pits? But Billet is coming across the line. Billet goes he's starting his lap then. So I think Billet must have been validated this time there. What about Steve? Steve is out of qualifying. Brabbit is still going, but he's 600 to a second down on his seconds time there. Wilson is across the line. He can go again. Then Baz is invalidated as lap. Baz has, so Baz is out of he's in qualifying at the moment, but he's very close to being out. Ayrton's found 5/10 a second in the midfield, in the mid part of the lap. Then Brabbit is through into qualifying. He is not Baz out. What about Ayrton coming up to the line? Ayrton is through into 7th position there. He was saving that one, was he, for a rainy day? Wilson is also out qualifying as well. Goodness me. What about Billet? And Billet is leaving it very late and taking a lot of curb bed into the turn 8 and 9 chicane, then accelerating away car 28 then, and he's on his way again. Then car 28, and that number is famous for Gerhard Berger fans, isn't it, when he was driving the Ferrari in 94 and 95, and possibly even 93 as well, actually, come to think about it. Of course, when Berger was driving that Ferrari, the very burgundy red Ferrari, wasn't it? A very dark red Ferrari back then, wasn't it? And it was the last of the V12 powered engines, wasn't it? That Ferrari was, goodness me, I think it was only V12 car on the grid in 95. Goodness gracious me, we had V10s, V12, V10s and V8s, didn't we? Brabbit then, Billet coming into the final turn as well, into turn 15. Steve is at the back of the field then. Wilson could have 2 Red Bulls who are third in the constructors, could be both at the back of the field if Billet has anything to do about this. He stays 19th then, but those are the drivers out of qualifying, unfortunately. And goodness me then. Oh, there's a lot of big names in that drop zone, isn't there? Good grief, goodness gracious me! Then let's take a look then to see who is out of qualifying. Then it is Steve who is out qualifying. He did that time then. Billet out of qualifying. Wilson also out qualifying. That's a big shock there, isn't it? To see Wilson out qualifying. He's just commented he's got no pace at all, as usual. Brabbit out qualifying as well, 16th, and Baz also out. So there's a couple of big names out qualifying in the early stage of this one. Goodness gracious me, then what an end to qualifying. I was loving that. That was great stuff. And just take a look then is see who is in and who is out then, just to confirm in terms of classification form anyway. See out qualifying then, Billet in at 19th position, 18th position is Wilson, Baz is in 17th position, and Brabbit is in 16th position. Those are the drivers that are knocked out then. Farf making it through by 0.2 of a second in the end, and 1 lap there. Goodness me, Farf was, I've got to say, he's not a fan of taking too many laps, is he, in qualifying, but he does seem to like coming from the back of the grid quite often, and he loves to have a lot of time at his disposal, doesn't he, Farf? This is his debut tonight in the Racing Point. So Racing Point are currently bottom of the constructors in silver, so they do need some points there to turn it around. Gordo's saying, I'll keep going across the chicane and letting folk pass, but it keeps invalidating both laps. Said first chicane is a killer there, Gordo. That is a serious time there from Tommy as well, from Dylan. Wilson saying no pace here, as usual, as of late then. As Tommy said, he should have practiced a bit then as we go into qualifying 2 then. He said he was going to practice for Brazil on Friday then, so it looks like Tommy is not a fan of the practice session, is he? Well, I don't blame him because I don't like practice either, to be honest. Of course, there. But I'm the kind of driver then that doesn't. It's not really at the sharp end of the field. Then it's very difficult to get myself motivated when I don't think I'm going to be at the sharp end of the field. Then Indian Jesus, then we don't see him in the comments much. Hello, Indian Jesus. And in Mushroom we trust our Lord and Savior. We got young Tommy that's from setup for Brazil. It's nearly done, but I didn't think about France. As young Tommy saying, go on Mushroom as well. He is on fire. Good stuff indeed. Then Serious Man saying, Canada setup. I'm in trouble. Then oh dear. And oh dear, so as just having a look, and there's a couple of people struggling here in qualifying 1 at the moment. They're very interesting to read all that actually. I think that some drivers are not feeling too confident, are they, in their in what is occurring at the moment, which is quite shocking, really, isn't it? But I think that this track, then I quite like this track personally, mainly because I seem to do well around here because I can't find a wall too often or not. So that's the main reason why I might like it around here rather than anyone else. As we're now then into qualifying 2, and let's see what is occurring. New Potato is the first driver out. He's normally out, going into the. And going into the chicane as well. Dylan is saying that I'm kind of multitasking, watching the Liverpool match and this race as well. I gotta say, I am trying to cover my ears as much as possible for the Liverpool Wolves game because, to be honest, I am fearing the worst. Unfortunately, being a Scouser fan and all that kind of stuff is a bit of brutal old season for us Liverpool fans. Of course, we had our fun last season, so now it's kind of coming back to bite us in the posterior, isn't it? So 13 minutes in this second qualifying session now. Last night, remember, everyone but 2 drivers that got through into qualifying 3 had to start on the medium tires, didn't they? It really worked out for the man who was driving this car last night, V Todd, up until a point, and unfortunately that point was when he came in the pits there, but his soft tires at the beginning of the race there really showed a thing or two, didn't it, for V Todd, and he had a great qualifying as well. V Todd, that is his speciality in my opinion for V Todd, of course, a silver driver in the previous 2 seasons then, of course. It did feel a bit weird commentating about V Todd on the grid there for the silver. New Patel then getting on the curb there a bit too heavily there, and almost spun him out there, but he's carrying on there, and New Patel is nonetheless then. So we got Ivor and Bryn Mike then. Let's go at Maldonado and Curly Red then with some black flags then. Well, let's hope they don't get disqualified there, Ivor, Bryn Mike. So of course I think that might be the Welsh flags then perhaps then, but he does have a Welsh flag. Oh, is that a combination of a Welsh flag and a couple of other flags there? I can't see. Oh no, that's a beautiful helmet actually. I love the helmet there from Ivor Bryn Mike then. Lovely stuff indeed then. We're just watching New Patel then. So we've gone from the Welsh supporter to the Irish racer, which is New Potato then, flicking it through turn 11 then as well. That corner can be very perilous indeed. I gotta say, I've had a lot of tank slappers in my day over there. I've hit even with the barriers so far away, you can still hit them, can't you? If you go off at some velocity. I think Ericsson hit when the barriers on the outside there in 2018, was it? When France returned to the calendar. As much as I don't like the track on the calendar and watching it live, either, but the one thing is, it's good to have a French Grand Prix in F1. I feel that without the French Grand Prix, the calendar would seem to be missing something. But whether this is the right track to have on the F1 calendar is a different story altogether. Where else could they have it around France? Obviously, Le Mans comes out quite regularly, doesn't it? And go down but I think it'd be the MotoGP version rather than the Le Mans 24-hour version. Just think about that lap. Goodness me. We'd be in the 3-minute lap, wouldn't we? Good gosh, it'd be like a flashback to the 50s and 60s when they had a long laps, didn't they? Gordo's gone fastest on the medium tires and on a 30.3 there, very viciously going back to the going back to the racing line there, Gordo. It's goodness me then. A lot of turning there, a lot of turning actually in the steering wheel. We're just watching Sarah Smushman and had a difficult time in Canada. He also seems to be having some issues as well. As Ivor Bryn Mike said, it was a Welsh flag then before it came up as a black flag. So there we go. Maybe he does want to get maybe he wants to get Curly and Maldonado to be disqualified perhaps then. Of course he doesn't. He's a big fan, isn't he, of Maldonado? I have no doubt about that. Welsh always his serious mushroom then. He was going to be a Welsh mushroom then, but now he's back to a serious mushroom. He's coming back into the pit as well, but he's not too serious at the moment then. Ayrton out on circuit as well, and so is Curly as well. So since we've got some fans of Curly and Maldonado here, we're going to keep an eye on what Curly could do there. Of course, it was a 1-2 for the Welsh contingent last time out, wasn't it? In form of Maldonado winning and Curly in second end. So they definitely very much were the talk of the town, weren't they? After that great performance in Canada. And I got to say, Sean Hammers had a cracking qualifying. It's a shame that he got involved in ruckus down in the hairpin, and I think that really did contribute to a very difficult race for Sean Hammers, which is a bit unfortunate. Colin saying good luck Maldonado and Curly Ray. Hashtag a Welsh word then. Apologies, my Welsh is absolutely appalling. My English is not very good either, to be fair. So there you go. If I try and Gordo's gone for a second bite of the cherry. He's gone fast at the moment. Good 17 there for Gordo. 5/10 a second. He's found him out that then as he's just gone across the blue stuff as well. And just of course, then how can as I'm commentating on, and of course we cannot be forgetting about the late great Murray Walker, which is the best commentator in my opinion ever in any sports ever. Of course, I'm going to be a bit biased, but of course, Murray Walker got us into Formula 1, didn't he? And got us into Formula 1, and of course, he was a lot of our childhood memories. He was definitely one of my favourite childhood memories when watching the Formula 1. He was absolutely brilliant. Oh goodness me, Ayrton there doing a bit of Formula drift around there. Good gosh there. But as he was going sideways rather than forward, then for Ayrton, he's the only man on a time so far. Just going back to Murray Walker, then yes, he loved all realms of motorsport, whether it was the motocross, then British touring car, British Formula 3 as well, or Formula 1. He was a legend, wasn't he, in his own right? And of course, unfortunately, he died at the age of 97, didn't he? Which is such a shame that we've lost Murray Walker. I was actually heartbroken, really, but I was really heartbroken. But luckily, on the he is on YouTube or anything like that. Really just want to go back and watch a race there. And I said this on the stream last night, but I watched the races back, and I got to say, if we had a different commentary commentating on those races, I don't think I'd be as enjoying it as much personally. Maybe that's just me though, because of course I'm a big Murray Walker fan. But I think that if someone else was commentating on those races, I don't think I would have been as intrigued then, especially with the Schumacher years and before that, of course, when Schumacher really started to dominate, especially 2001. Murray Walker did miss a couple of races towards the end of his career in 2001, with his final commentary session was actually in the United States Grand Prix, which was also very fitting as well, because that was Mika Häkkinen's last race win as well, wasn't it, for the McLaren team? It was an end of an era in the United States Grand Prix, because I think it was also Joe Ramirez's last race as well for McLaren. Goodness me, Ayrton's gone second fast at the moment, and as he is hop, skipped and jumped then over the first chicane as well. It was just in a flash of Maldonado then right off the circuit then. FIFA's on track at the moment, and we got Farf halfway down the back straight then. Curly out of the final turn. Let's see what Curly can do then. Across the line, he goes second fast at the moment, and his Gordo is very happy with himself. I've just seen the commentary. He's doing a very impressive time actually, Gordo has there. It just shows there with Curly just a tenth of a second off the pace mode. Mano's invalidated her time then. Who is closest to the end of their lap then? I think it might be Troy, but Troy is on and out at the moment. Farf is coming up to the end of his lap. So let's go on board Farf, and he's out a bit earlier than he was last time out. Everyone is on the medium tyres, and no one fancies to go on those red marked soft tyres. Out of the final turn as well. And let's see what Farf could do then on his return to silver. Well, this is his first race in silver in terms of a full-time driver. Farf goes fastest then on a 7.25 and a 29.725, and he celebrates by spamming the DRS button. Farf is fastest at the moment, and that's a much better time. Maldonado is almost cruising to a halt there. I'm not sure if she's got some kind of problem there. Hopefully she can get herself back up and running then. Here comes Slayer coming out of the final turn, and Slayer is fast as well, and these are quite quick times, and Slayer is forward 3/10 a second up then. Jake is, my goodness me, the Mercedes driver very looking very quick tonight, isn't he? He is flying the flag for Mercedes, isn't he? Him and Unfortunately, we have lost one of the Mercedes starters. Haven't we? Troy is now starting his lap as well, and we've also got Maldonado starting her lap. Serious motion down the back straight. Nigel also on a quick lap as well. TK is on the first side, so I'm going to stay. Oh, BP there is just having an adventure, isn't he? He's going on a little adventure there at TK. So we're going to stay with the first ever champion of ALR. That is a new potato. Then it's a Nigel, new potato, the first ever champion of bronze. He's gone fastest out on a 28.994. Here's Nigel out of turn 15, then car 36 out of the final turn. Then let's see what he can do. Then coming up to the line, then, and Nigel goes third fastest, and good stuff indeed. And oh goodness me, that was a Renault completely well, Troy's gone fastest, and Troy is gone, and no, he hasn't, he's gone first, second fastest. I'm all over the show tonight, and my goodness me. BP then is just starting his lap. Bradfield is starting his lap too. TK is coming up to the end of his lap, and we're just on board now. Then in the background is Welsh Maldonado. She is on a quick lap, so both TK and Maldonado are on quick laps, and let's see what they're both going to do then. But I think Maldonado is quite quick at this stage of proceedings, but unfortunately TK is not going to drop off his lap because he is on a quick one as well. Yellow flag for Maldonado's teammate, which is Troy, the championship leader. Maldonado into the final turn as well. She's going to have a lot of dirt, coming on the back of that Alfa Romeo. DRS on the money then now, as if you heard a beep in her ear. Then TK goes across the line. TK is up into TK's only in 12th position, and Maldonado is gone third fastest. Good time indeed. BB is BP, third time's the charm now, getting out and sorting that one. As Ivor Bryn might dare saying that Wales versus France for the rugby Saturday. Wales for a podium tonight in France, and good stuff, and a bit of a poetic, a bit of a poetry emotion there, isn't it? Good stuff indeed there. As I think Wales did beat France, didn't they, over the weekend? Didn't they? Oh, wait, did they? I don't know. That's me trying to be cool. I don't know anything about rugby, really. Even though I do live in a rugby town, but that's just me just being absolutely just getting absolutely completely tongue-tied as well. BP going at second fastest at the moment then in the racing point, and we've just seen a flash as well. Who has just gone up into, I think Bradfield's just got over the 12th position. He has indeed, but that is not enough to get him through into qualifying at 3 at the moment, so he's going to have to go around again with only 3 minutes to go in this session. And TK is invalidated as well. TK is also on the outside looking in. He's going to have to come in the pits, I feel, and get a time on the ball. Curly's out quite quickly and early. And Gordo was very happy with that lap. Come on, Mushroom. I'm rooting for you, my good man. Then Gordo, as Gordo just said, what a lap there, Jake. There, incredible stuff indeed. James Hook, then come on, Maldonado. Hashtag a Welsh word as well. Mike saying a 28.9 on medium tires is a monster lap. Fair play, James Hook. I can't do that on softs. That laugh out loud. I got to say, I can't do that on the ultra softs or the hyper softs as they had them here. Incredible stuff indeed, isn't it? As we've got Formula 1 saying thanks, Gordon, fast I've done here in quality of medium tires. Did a 29.82 months ago. That's impressive. That's an impressive feat there, isn't it, from Wilson? Then Curly coming out of the final turn as well. He's now going to start his lap then. Bradfield is a 10th for a second up in the second intermediate split time then. I am already perspirating then from head to toe. Oh, good gosh, sir. New Potato then has mad pace. He does he? New Potato's a very quick customer. He has got the most pole positions in silver in this current grid with 6 pole positions, I think, or 5. Bradfield out of the final turn, then DRS said right on the money, right on the button, and he comes across the line. Then Bradfield has a much better time indeed then, and he is now through into qualifying 3 as it stands. Then young Tommy there is on the back straight, then an invalidated time there from Curly Red then with not too long to go. Tommy is 2/10 of a second down, and now BP has retired from the session then. He is fairly happy with that then. Mike dropped there from BP perhaps, then in the drop zone is Gordo, Curly, young Tommy, TK and Ayrton, and those 5 drivers said I'm going to have to leave it all on the table then with less than a minute to go in this session then. Well, just over a minute to go in this session, I should say. Is young Tommy going to go for broke again, or is this it for the Williams driver? Is it? Let's take a look then. He is going for it one more time then, as Daft Punk would sing then. Let's see what he can do then. So here we go then. It's all or nothing now for young Tommy. We'll see what he can do. Ayrton's on the start as well. What about Curly? He's got a minute to get himself around and start a lap as well. No, Curly's in the pits, and Curly's in the pits. He is out of qualifying. That's a huge, huge scalp here in qualifying too. Goodness me. Maldonado is retired from the session and she's on great form at the moment. Absolutely fantastic form. Really impressive stuff indeed. Ayrton's less than a 10th of a second up in the first intermediate split time as well. Look at that. Back and then kind of stepping out there. Good stuff indeed then. Merchant saying, I'm trying, Sammy. I'm on the calendar setup. I messed up in TT today, but thanks. Said James Hook. Think about 6 if I qualified on the medium tire. Say good stuff indeed there from Hook. Then brilliant stuff. We've also got Mike saying, no, it's this weekend coming up the rugby, but Wales did win last weekend, so I got it half right then. You can see that just shows how appalling I am with other sports. Then goodness me, I need a slap across the wrist, maybe a slap across the face as well, perhaps for that. But at least I knew that Wales did win, because I think didn't someone else beat Italy by quite a... Was it Ireland that beat Italy by quite a high score, perhaps? Ayrton comes across line, he's 12 faster then, but that's as high as he's going to go tonight then. He is going to be 12th on the grid. Ayrton is, fortunately or unfortunately, Gordo's invalidated this time. That's it for Gordo, who is going to be joining those three drivers then. We got TK then, who's coming into the first part of that then, so we're going to keep it on. Young Tommy, he's a 10th for a second up. He's going to slot himself in between Gordo and Ayrton, perhaps, then, if he can keep his momentum up. He comes across the line. He is in between Gordo and Ayrton as well. Good stuff indeed there. 2,000 of a second separates young Tommy and Gordo. Young Tommy, I wonder if he threw on a soft tyre, then he might have been more happier of being up the grid perhaps. TK is only a 10th of a second up in the first section. I was expecting a bit more of an improvement there from TK, but he can't do it at the moment, can he? Down the back straight then. Curly's thinking about fresh tyres for the race then from Ivor, Brian, Mike then. Following moment saying, have we Q3? Not one of my best circuits in the top two. OMG then. And we've got Mike saying that was Wales beating Italy. I'm making it worse for myself, and I... Oh dear. There we go. Oh, is that TK's invalidated this time? 5 made it worse, and TK has made it horrific for himself. He is out of qualifying. He is down in 15th position there, and that's another big name, which is going to be very unhappy with this qualifying session. He comes into the pits. He is going to be 15th on the grid. Then he's going to be kicking himself in, TK is, because I think he was going to be in the top 10. That is not the case now, is it? Oh, goodness me. As he's just coming into the pits then. Gordo saying, oopsie daisy then, Maldonado on fire today. She's been on fire for the past 2 weeks, hasn't she? Magnificent stuff indeed. Everyone in the top 10 is on the medium tire. Brilliant stuff then. Out qualifying is TK in 15th then, Curly in 14th, Ayrton in 13th position, Young Tommy in 12th, Gordo in 11th position. And those are the 5 drivers out qualifying. Into qualifying 3, you have Sirius Musho, we have Far, FIFA, Jake the Slayer, Bradfield, Nigel, BP, Maldonado, Troy, and Nude Potato. That is a cracking run of drivers, isn't it? Who is going to be on pole position then for the French Grand Prix? Troy has been on pole position twice so far this season. We have also got Nude Potato, who hasn't been on pole position at all yet. Goodness me, I thought it was his teammate TK, wasn't it? FIFA's been on pole position as well, and so is Gamer, but Gamer unfortunately is not in the race tonight, which is a shame. Gordo saying, I have just got no pace. Quite unfortunate, but the points are in the race then. Yes, indeed, then it doesn't matter about qualifying, does it? Whether you agree with that or not about points in the qualifying session, but there we go. That's a different debate for another time. But Gordo will be 12th will be 11th on the grid then. P12 could have been worse there for young Tommy, so he's going to be fairly happy with that. Gordo saying the only sad thing is that I'm not is that I've got a tyre advantage as everyone is on the medium tyres. Then Formula Moment saying fresh tyres would be good for you, young Tommy. Yes, I concur with that. Even if they are on the medium tyres, those extra couple of laps are going to be crucial into this in this race, I think, and that the outcome of this. Theo 48 saying what a quality 2 then. Of course, I think Theo is going to be looking forward to tomorrow night as well. Then is now as a Trundle out of the pits, and we are now ready for qualifying 3. And this is New Potato at the moment. Then I can't believe he hasn't been on pole position yet this season. Then, so he's going to have to put that very right in the next 10 minutes or so, isn't he? So we've got Potato out, we've got BP and Farf out of the pits as well. Jake the Slayer and Troy. Then we have got a McLaren. Then it looks like he's merging out the pits as well. Indeed he is. We've also got Williams there trundling down. Then there's a lot of there's a lot of very impressive resume of drivers in this qualifying 3, isn't there? Only 2 drivers, only 3 drivers that are currently in the pits at the moment as they're coming down the back straight then. which is at Nude Potato as well. So remember last night, Emerson got on pole position. He pinched it, didn't he? The most dramatic way last night, didn't he? But of course, it was Gurman who first started 5th on the grid there, won the Grand Prix. So qualifying is probably not the most important qualifying session of the season. And there is quite a, it's not a long run, does everyone, but it's not a short run either. It's kind of just one of those in the middle kind of jobbies, isn't it, really? Gordo saying only 100, only 8 hundredths off of Mushroom as well then, so very unlucky indeed then. Young Tommy, yeah, no, I'll just let it go way too quick. Drivers in here, with Gordo saying thousands, and they're just there for Young Tommy as well. I've got to say the division is getting quicker and quicker, isn't it? I must say it's very impressive timing out there. Alright, and here comes Potato. He's one of the quicker drivers, isn't he? On a one lap run then. He just cannot seem to get it done in the race thus far at the moment. I say that, but New Potato does have 53 points so far this season, and he does have 2 podiums, which isn't slouchy by any stretch of imagination. He's joined the third highest podium sitter this season, along with Maldonado, both having 2 podiums this season. Of course, we've had 6 for Gamer and for Troy, and then everyone else is, and then we've got like a load of ones then, really. That's how competitive Silver's been then. You can't really put a bet on who is going to be on the podium this season, and so it's very low numbers in terms of podiums. It's being shared out quite nicely. That's how polite these drivers are, and so we're good stuff indeed then. And we're coming into the second chicane as well. Lovely blue skies out here tonight, and of course we had a lot of rain last night, didn't we? It was affected at the end of the race. Well, it's absolutely fantastic into the French Grand Prix last night. Really enjoyed that race then. It's probably one, as I was talking to Knowles earlier on then, of course, he's an experienced campaigner in the ALR world, isn't he? He was saying it was one of the best gold races that he witnessed there. Really impressive stuff indeed then. Very good stuff indeed. So the Silver drivers got a lot to show, haven't they? But in the beginning of the season, Silver was very much the cream of the crop in terms of quality driving standards, wasn't it? Let's see if they can still be on top of the cake then come the end of this race then. I love a bit of cake, I'm starving, but enough about my belly and my bad food habits. Here comes Potato out of the final turn, 27.884. Good time indeed then. Troy is a couple of tenths away at the moment. Troy's been the benchmark. BP is currently second fastest at the moment then. Jake the Slayer in third position in the Mercedes, and look at this, and this is incredible times. And what about Farf up to the line? Farf is fifth fastest at the moment in the racing point, and these are hot times and here in the French Grand Prix. Magnificent stuff indeed then. And coming down then, and let's see what Bradfield's doing then. Out of the final turn then, DRS wide open. Bradfield is only fifth fast as well. I say only fifth, that's a good time then. Serious Mushroom coming to the line, he is sixth fastest then. What about the Ferrari of FIFA Beefy? No, it's Nigel coming across first, and here's Maldonado on to the final lap, and she is sixth fastest at the moment as well then. And now FIFA Beefy is about to finish it off as well. There's coming down the back straight, finish straight I should say. And where does FIFA go? FIFA is seventh fastest then in the Ferrari. Let's take stock then. 7 minutes to go in this qualifying session. Potatoes on pole position. The only driver into the 27.8 so far. Fantastic. BP is alongside him on row 1. That's a juicy row 1. Slayer making his debut for the Mercedes driver here tonight. He is third fastest. Troy in fourth. The championship leader. Fifth position is Bradfield. Of course, Bradfield's an expert qualifier. I think I had a bit more higher hopes for Bradfield. Let's see what he can muster up in his second run then. Sixth position is Walsh Maldonado. Remember last week's race winner, FIFA Beefy. Seventh position, Serious Mushroom in eighth position. Someone has just completely destroyed the polystyrene there and made me jump out of my skin. Ninth position is Farf. I was wondering what that was. And here is Nigel, and he is on a lap as well. And now as he is coming up then into the final lap, final part of the course as well. There's turn 12, man. I think I've lost my hairband because my hair is drooping all over my eyes. That is my problem. 6 minutes to go in this session, and here's the first ever ALR World Champion. The brake disc are glowing on that Ferrari. Lovely bit of brake disc going there from the Brembo. I think they are Brembo brakes of the Ferrari. I'm sure they are. Nigel out of the final turn. Let's see what this is going to put him in fourth position there. He is on the second row of the grid for the Ferrari driver in car 38. Good stuff indeed there for Nigel there. We know who Nigel is, and he's got the signature 36, the signature green helmet as well there. It stands out like a sore thumb. He is on row 2 at the moment, and good stuff indeed then. Great stuff. So as Nigel come back into the pit as well, just under 6 minutes to go in this qualifying session, and it's all to play for at the moment. In terms of the form of going into this qualifying session, we've got Gamer, who's on pole position 3 times at the beginning of the season. FIFA Beefy was on pole position in the Chinese Grand Prix. Troy had a double, didn't he, in the Dutch and Spanish Grand Prix. TK got on pole position in the Monaco Grand Prix. Paynes was on pole position on his return to silver. Magnificent time there for Paynes. Curley was on pole position last time out in Canada. We could have another new pole sitter in terms of new potato at the moment, but this man, BP, would love to be on pole position. He hasn't on a pole position yet in silver either. So as BP is out on the lap at the moment, and he is just there as he's shortcutting the shortcut in the straight as well then. So yes, I think that is very loud. Dan didn't say no, did he? But he didn't say he didn't say yes either then. So we're just watching then him coming down then into the final part of the court as well. Let me get rid of all these notifications. Goodness me, I can't even see what's going on here at the moment. Good grief. There you go then. It's, I wish I was a popular man, but it's really not then. It's just because I'm sat in random groups then. But there you go, because usually my phone is normally quite inactive unless an ALR race is on. Anyway, here comes BP. Oh goodness me, did he might have compromised himself there. He's the back end was trying to overtake the front. Out of the final turn then, young Tommy, great lap there from Jake then, as Jake is very much taking the up all this, because that's a cracking lap there on in silver, and good 17 there for Slayer, and having a much good run of form on there. BP, that car just didn't feel like it was turned in. He's gone wide as well. He had understeer galore. Understeer city then for BP. He's invalidated his time with 4 minutes to go in the session now, as the camera's lost him. There he is, and he's just going cross country here. Maybe he's doing the Tour de France around Paul Ricard at the moment now. I gotta say, it's a very interesting track, isn't it, Paul Ricard? It's of course the reason why there is of course blue and red on the outside. It's a test track, isn't it? And it's a very good track to really prove yourself that you're capable of driving a Formula 1 car, Formula 2 car, or Formula 3 car, or that kind of jazz. Then as a BP there was just unfortunately invalidated this time, but he should be the first man to come around again and go for broke then. Has he got enough fuel in the car? His fuel light is not flashing at the moment then, so BP got off that straight away then, and you can see they're just navigating his way through the polystyrene, and I gotta say I'm completely lost now, but good job BP knows where he's going, because I have no earthly idea. That just shows that I know absolutely nothing about that. Colin Mason said, is a BP allowed to do that? I think he is. It just shows how much I have taken notice of the admin's notes here tonight, isn't it? Really, which I got to say, Dan is going to absolutely slap me around the face, which is twice in a row now. I've got the rugby results completely wrong. Almost, well, yeah, they are completely wrong, isn't it? I can't really get myself out of that one. And then I don't even know what the organisers' notes are either. It's absolutely appalling, isn't it? Really. But Colin Mason, is BP allowed to do that? I think he is. Now the driver did ask earlier on then, and I didn't see a response from the admin, mainly because I got distracted and started posting memes in the Discord, which is basically what I'm there for, really. That's it, really. As me and Emerson just seems to have a meme war. Anyway, and Sam as well. How can I forget Sam then? Of course, he pinched a very good meme today. Actually, I'm very unhappy with him, because it was the Rosberg one where he was in the sun. I love that. Anyway, enough about the memes. Let's get on with Cirrus Mushroom. Oh no, Cirrus Mushroom's invalidated his time as well. Oh goodness me, that turn 1 is being all kinds of naughty to the drivers tonight, isn't it? The understeer on the exit of turn 1 and 2 is absolutely horrific. They just seem to become the middle part, the inside curve there, just spit them out to dry at the moment, isn't it? Right then. There is now going to start us up as well. Now he comes across the line. Cirrus Mushroom is going to have to go out again. There's a Renault just popping their nose cone out of the pits as well. Colin saying thanks, comms out, no problem at all. But I don't think that answers your question, to be fair. I was just kind of finger in the air kind of guessing. But I think that I do understand there why, because personally for me, I would do it though, but that's because I like cutting corners, and really, there you go, really. If I can get away with it, I really would. Jake the Slayer is 0.2 a second down the first sector there, so he's had a pretty appalling first section. He's backed off then right from the get-go, unfortunately for Jake the Slayer then, so he's going very unhappy with that. There's a lot of invalidated times in this qualifying session at the moment, isn't there? Cirrus Mushroom then is in turn 12, and look at the beautiful sunshine out there. I've got to say, I'm going to put my sunglasses on there, which of course now then is Cirrus Mushroom now into... No, yes, and he's coming into the pit, so Cirrus Mushroom might be it. He is done for today, and that is a blow and a half there for Cirrus Mushroom. What about Potato? He comes over the line, and he's about to start up, looking at touching 205 miles an hour now for breaking down into 1 and 2. 2 is becoming an issue, but New Patel actually nails it, and he is the defending pole sitter at the moment. Then there he's got 9 cars chasing him. It's 8 now, isn't it, with Serious Mushroom there has put himself out of play, and Serious Mushroom is saying he's not going to make it, and he is retired for the session. We're down to 8 cars. Who is going to be on pole position then for the French Grand Prix? We have got we've got a queue of cars, haven't we, that could be on pole position. I'm absolutely loving it. 5 seconds to go in this session. There is the clock in the top left-hand part of the screen then. Noobtail then accelerating. And with the time is ticked down, but am I out of sync? I probably am, which is standard stuff. So we might have a couple of drivers that have missed the time and been the... There's a Renault off it. It's Welsh. It's Maldonado. Maldonado's had some issues there. She is turning qualifying, and she is going to be very disappointed about that then. I must have invalidated her time right from the get-go. It is, and who's that? That's BP. BP is done as well. Oh, goodness me, they're just falling by the wayside, whilst New Potato is serenely just getting on with it. Incredible stuff here. Oh, goodness me, we've had 2 people bite the dust. We've had Maldonado and BP. Unfortunately, invalidated. Well, they only invalidated at times, I don't think, but they've made mistakes there. But Potato, as he comes up to the lines, it's going to be, oh, what's happened? And Potato has run out. Has he run out of fuel? He's run out of something. He's 9/10 of a second off, and he was on course for improving his time, but he was just at the final part of the course there. 2/10 of a second up in the second time, intermediate time there for Troy. He's in the ballpark. He's in the postcode range of New Potato. Then New Potato could have lowered that beam, lowered the bar. He had some issues there, didn't he, on the final part of the lap, man? What about Troy? He is coming up to the line as well. Look at the fans clapping the championship leader. He comes across the line. He is second fastest. Very nip and tuck then. Very, very close indeed. Farf is there is Farf, and 3/10 of a second up. Farf is he comes up to the line as well. Bradfield is just beyond him as well. Farf goes 6th fastest. Bradfield is on row 2. That's more like it. What about Jake? He is down in 5th position as well. And Nigel in 6th position. FIFA is in 8th position. And that is the end of qualifying. BP coming into the pit. New Potato for the first time this season is on pole position then for the French Grand Prix. Oh, good stuff indeed there for New Potato then. It's been a long time coming, hasn't it, for Potato, but he's finally got it. Absolutely congratulations to Potato then. And that is his 6th pole position of his career in ALR Silver then. He is 1 away from the all-time now. No, he's 1 away from second, I should say, not 1 away from the all-time then. And, of course, his Glock has got 15 to his name. Oh, so a good something then. So New Potatoes on pole position then for the French Grand Prix here in Paul Ricard as well. That was a great time indeed then for Potato. It was indeed. I think he could have gone quicker as well, but look at how close Troy came then. Very close indeed then. Only 2 drivers into the 27th here tonight then. Magnificent stuff indeed then. So look at that in the front row then, both in the 27th and BP in the 28th and Bradfield in the 28th as well in 4th position. Good time there from Bradfield. Slayer in 5th position on his return to ALR Silver tonight. Great stuff indeed. Nigel in 6th position. Farf is 7th and FIFA 8th. Maldonado in 9th and Serious Mushroom in 10th position. That is the top 10 then as we get racing here for round 10 in ALR Silver. There's Bradfield, how dare you, as he moved himself into 4th position as well then. Good luck everyone from Jake the Sarah Gordo saying, all right, good luck everyone. Young Tommy, good luck everyone. Very polite in there. Dylan Clark saying good luck as well. Is Dylan White a cricketer of some kind, or is he a no, he's a boxer, isn't he? Possibly. Well, there's a lot of things going on in boxing today, isn't there? With Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua going to unify the belts, isn't they? I think that they're doing like a two match supercard or something like that. I think so. That's going to be pretty nifty, isn't it? Hopefully the pubs are open by then, because I do like a good old alcohol in alcohol fueled boxing viewingship. Very impressive indeed. Then, as I'm a bit too tight to pay for it myself. Right then, as we get ready for the race, well, Colin saying good luck. Oh, it's great to have Colin in the comments. So it's great to have you all in the comments as well. Keep them coming in, guys. That really keep me on my toes, which you need to keep me on my toes because I am just otherwise I'll just be rambling on then like a just rambling on like just like a random ginger man then. Right then, 27 laps then around the French Grand Prix, and on pole position then for the sixth time in his career as New Potato. This is his first pole position of the season. I can't believe I'm saying that. For the Alfa Romeo driver then. He is on medium tires. And we've got Troy, the championship leader, is second at the moment. Then he's got a reprieve then with Gamer, unfortunately unable to race at the moment. Then. So Troy then, can he strike with his competitor? Unfortunately unable to race him. What a shame it is indeed not to have Gamer here tonight. Hopefully he's enjoying the broadcast. In third position we have BP. Fourth position is Bradfield with Jake the Slayer in fifth position. Nigel is in sixth position, the Ferrari. Seventh is Farf. Eighth position is FIFA. Ninth is Maldonado, and Sirius Mushroom is in 10th position, all on the medium tires. Then 11th position is Gordo. He is the highest on the hard tires. Remember, the hard runners really got into the thick of things in the race then last night then, with no rain predicted here in this race as well. I think that the hard runners are going to be a thorn in the side of some major runners then in this Grand Prix later on. Young Tommy in 12th position on his debut. Ayrton in a very strong 13th position on hard tires. Curly on the medium tires in 40th position. TK in 15th on the hard tires. Brabbit down in 16th on the medium tires. Good 17th there for Brabbit. Baz down in 17th. Be disappointed that. Wilson in 18th on the hard tires there for Wilson. He was strong with the pace, but remember, qualifying is no big deal for Wilson. He's our versus Dan Murphy in silver. He doesn't need qualifying. Billet in 19th position on the medium tires. Steve not taking part in qualifying, but he is on the medium tires in 20th position in the Red Bull. Then 20 cars, 27 laps in. We are going racing, going green in the French Grand Prix in the not too distant future then. As we are just now, look at that, they're weaving left, right, then as you look at that then, New Patel then is just adjusting the settings on the steering wheel, isn't he? These are the fastest computer scientists in the world, and they've got to be a computer scientist to get these cars from A to B these days. Goodness me, then it's absolutely the amount of settings you got on those steering wheels with the fuel mapping and with the ERS deployment, with the differential. It's just too much for my little brain to handle, but not for these guys and girls. Absolutely great stuff indeed. They're very clever racers indeed, and so now then they're just lining up on the grid then, aiming for that yellow line on the outer part there of the grid hatch there, so the drivers can see exactly when to stop the car in the grid box as well. Both Red Bulls are lined up the 18th and 20th there. Third in the constructors. They're going to need an incredible race here, aren't they, to keep themselves in third position, because it's going to be very tough indeed there. But making everyone's tires go cold then, as Billet is now coming up then to the final grid slot. Well, he's actually 19th on the grid then. And now we are go in France, and the lights gone out, but no one's home at the moment, are they? We are now waiting for the revs to go. There are the revs then. Let's go green here in France then, and here we go. We are racing, and here we go then. This is Potato who's got away nicely well, but I think Troy is alongside. Troy has already taken the lead on the outside. It's Troy's had a magnificent start. They're going wheel to wheel on the outside, and it is Potato who is down in second. The Mercedes as well off the track then as well. What has happened then? It is Billet who's gone off right from the get-go. Billet is facing the wrong way as he come down into the second chicane then, and it's the two Williams is going side by side of Tommy and Mushroom then, and of course Williams is a barrel in the battle there. Goodness me, Curly and Gordo, they're banging wheels then. Ayrton's dropped Tom down into 15th position as well, and they're coming onto the back straight for the first time as well. Brabham in 16th, Steve's already up 2 positions already. Fantastic stuff, and Troy leads second is Potato. Then look at this, they are now slipstreaming each other. BP in third position there. Nigel has launched himself over the 2 positions. Fantastic. Slayer is kept himself in 5th position, but Bradfield's dropped down 2 positions. FIFA and Farf is swapped positions as well. Farf dropped down 2 positions. Look at this as they are slipstreaming each other then. I'd say really tailgating. Great stuff indeed then as they flick through the very fast turn 10 as well. Great stuff then. Troy then is taking the lead. And look at us, there's a New Potato that is going a bit wide, and that is going to very interest BP indeed. And who is that? Young Tommy there is clipping up the the inside there, and now Curly Red is trying to go on the inside. Then that's going to get very tight indeed. Oh goodness me, Curly Red has made that stick very nice indeed there from Curly. Ayrton is really struggling at the moment. He's dropping down the order. Has he got damage? Just take a look. No, Ayrton is just dropping down the order, unfortunately, and having a bit of a difficult opening lap as well. But he's trying to go up and under Brabant and Troy. It's at the fast half of the race then, as we have who's that in the pits? That is Wilson in the pits, and Wilson's in the pits right from the get-go. That's an appalling start for Wilson, isn't it? And I think he's damaged the front wing, surely, because there's no reason to go in the pits just yet. Ayrton's up and under, then Ayrton's up and under. Look at that, they've taken the bonnet off them. Brabant and Ayrton are very much getting their elbows out. Baz is on the, oh my goodness me, Baz is on the outside as well. Ayrton is trying to fight the two Alpha Taris are battling as well. Goodness me, teammates at war here tonight, and look, Steve is on the outside as well. Ayrton is just showing in the rear wheel then. Wilson is on the medium tires as he comes back out onto the circuit as well. Back at the front then, Nigel's alongside BP, having a look up the inside, but no dice at the moment. We go into the chicane then. We got Jake the Slayer in 5th position as well. Brilliant stuff indeed as we accelerate out then, and just coming down the back straight as well. Just seeing what tires there went on then from Gurman. There is the tire strategy up in the tower right now. Nigel flicking it through the very fast turn 10 as well. And hopefully we'll have a bit of a lull now then, because I can read your comments out. And yes, Colin saying great start from Curly Red, fantastic stuff. Gurman, what tires is everyone on then? Medium tires for all the top 10. And then we have Gordo, who's the highest of the hard runners, and in 13th position. He did start 11th, he's dropped down a few positions there. We've got Wilson, is not a happy chap, and then Billa is not a happy chap, and so I wonder what's happened there with Wilson. He has dropped right down to the back of the field. We've seen him coming in the pits, and after we assume we had damage there. Lap 3, Troy is extending his lead then, but he's still within DRS range. We've heard about the DRS train, haven't we, with the drivers? The drivers are concerned about the DRS train. We had a great DRS train last night. I personally love the DRS train. So yes, keep it all coming, guys. Keep it all coming. And look at these cars. And Gordo's out of the DRS zone at the moment. Then, so the top 4 are in DRS range. Then Jake the Slayer's not them, but he is now, and he's feathering in and out at the moment. Then we've got this great battle here between young Tommy Curly, who's having an absolutely great job indeed. Gurman is also cheering on Curly as well. Let's go on board with the fan favourite at the moment, Curly. It's goodness me. He's got a sea of fans, hasn't he, in the comments? I absolutely love it as we're coming down the back straight once again. DRS is available. Welsh Ronaldo is just in front of us, and Curly is going to be alongside his compatriot. But Welsh Ronaldo is not going to let him through there, is she? Of course, the newest race winner in ALR, of course, has won in the Canadian Grand Prix. Serious Mushroom is very close to the back of Far for the moment, and look, Curly Red is there. Oh my goodness me, young Tommy, they're very close to the back of Curly. On board then, and look, Curly's defending the inside line then. So Tommy's going to go on the outside. He's going to go up and under then. Curly there defending it absolutely well. He's beautifully planted the car right in the middle of the circuit. Then Gordo and Brabant are having an almighty scrap. Then Gordo is struggling on those hard tires. He's just going backwards, but he needs to stick with it. He needs to stick with it, Gordo. There's and all the other hard runners do as well. This race is going to come back to him in the not too distant future. Then young Tommy is someone's in the pits there. Is Gordo. Oh yes, and Curly there just forcing young Tommy off the circuit there. Goodness me. As I gotta say that's very much elbows out there. Gordo's in the pits and that's another runner who's coming in the pits. And has he got damage as well from Gordo's car? We'll take a look at a minute then. Have a look at the minute. But goodness gracious me then. That's very much very robust there from Curly. Wasn't it out the final turn? Good gosh there. See, it's very close there. And then now look on the inside as well. Gap in the front is now half a second then between Troy and New Potatoes. We've just seen him flash up in the back, up in the top corner there as well. Gordo has got damage. He has got damage there. Gordo, as he's come on to the medium tires. That has completely ruined his Grand Prix, hasn't it? There's a long way to go in this race, though, isn't there? New Potato is looking very strong, isn't it? Right from the get-go here. Remember, New Potato clinched the Bronze World Championship here back in season 1, and of course he has happy memories around here. New Potato does. Can he get some more happy memories and get his second ever Grand Prix win in silver? So Farf in 8th position, still a Serious Mushroom in 9th bed, trying to have a sniff up the inside of Farfair, but Farfair is slamming the door shut there on the nose cone. Oh, the Williams driver, good gosh there. Yeah, very close indeed, and it's very difficult to overtake through that very fast right-hander. But of course, I think that these drivers are not shy by any stretch of the imagination. And back in this battle here, Brabant, Baz, Ayrton, and Steed, very much in a train, all on their own at the moment, aren't they? Billet has dropped slightly a bit further back at the moment, and in the Haas car, and both Haas drivers are dropping right at the back of the field at the moment. And they've had a bit of a nightmare start here in the French Grand Prix. Remember this time last season, Haas did start off that incredible run of 8 Grand Prix wins in a row in silver, which propelled him to the Constructors' Championship, and also propelled Gurman to the World Championship in silver as well. Remember, he has also got his first ever Grand Prix win in gold, making him the first driver in ALR history to win in gold, silver, and bronze. And I love that start. I really love it, because it just feels like that Gurman there has just worked his way up through the ranks, and he's done a great job as in ALR. And I think that it's as they start there, I'm going to keep shouting and shouting and shouting. Here's Steve, and it's let's see if Steve could be shouting some good news, and as he's trying to get past Ayrton. It's even though it's quite a easy track to overtake on, you can get stuck in these DRS trains, and Ayrton is not laying down here, is he? But he has dropped down into 17th position now, as Steve has got past him. But Ayrton has got a good run off the chicane now as well. Look at this, Ayrton and Steve side by side into the very quick kink here as well. Ayrton's got a 3-second penalty, unfortunately for his troubles. He's the first driver to have a penalty in this race then. But goodness me, Ayrton had a great slingshot there, didn't he? Back on board with Curly as he is in at the 11th position thus far. He is still stuck behind Welsh Maldonado. Welsh Maldonado's dropped out of the DRS range, a serious mushroom. Young Tommy there still very much in the wheel tracks of Curly in the battle for 11th and 12th position, and DRS on the start finish there as well. New Patel then is going to run out of DRS going into turn 1. The battle in the front there is very much getting very eager, isn't it? And I've got to go and watch this, because this is getting good. Look at this, and lovely shot from the helicam here as we look down into turn 3 and 4. There's BP just sitting behind him now. I wonder if I think he's just going to be fairly happy in that third position at the moment, isn't he? Because he's just going to be watching his 2 challengers here at the French Grand Prix just battling out, and they're going to be using up their tires as well. Of course, I hate to say it, but it is a tire formula these days, isn't it? Where you got to do very much look after your tires. Gordo set the fast lap race, and in Formula 1 you've had to, oh my goodness me, a new potato. They're just like a steam train on the outside, and giving Troy a bit of a clip as well. And wow, New Potato takes the lead of the French Grand Prix. Magnificent performance there from New Potato. Absolutely incredible stuff indeed. Nothing was stopping him there. There's a lot of Queen references here tonight, and there is nothing stopping New Potato. Don't stop him now. He's having a good time. He really is indeed. Troy dropping down into second position. Has Potato got the pace to break the DRS train is the question. Now look at these cars, and it is very much a conga line here in France. I'm loving it. Brilliant stuff indeed. New Patel is currently in the Grand Prix now. Troy then is 8/10 of a second back then, so he is struggling at this stage of proceedings, isn't he? Troy is, he has DRS, but I think the New Patel might start to run and hide in this Grand Prix now. So New Patel then get his first pole position of his season, and that's the 6th of his career. New Patel has only ever had 1 Grand Prix win. He has said, so can he get his 2nd Grand Prix win here tonight? Then he's well, I gotta say he's looking very, very on it tonight. He lost the lead at the start of the Grand Prix, but now he is full back after 7 laps then, and now is he going to run and hide then as well? I think he is at the moment then, because he is looking very strong indeed, and I think Troy might become a bit of a cork in the ball here. He was struggling in Canada a week ago as well, wasn't he? Troy was, and he was dropping down the order then. Tango, an amazing overtake then. It was indeed there. New Patel there, which is coming from which is getting past whatever the weather. Sorry, you swallowed at the wrong time there. So Troy then is now out of DRS zone. Well, he's back in DRS zone. He's going to be floating in and out, but New Potato is really just it's just set a marker, hasn't he? He's gone off and done a great job. Young Tommy has got past Curly, but Curly looks like he's not going to be too impressive, because he's very much trying to slipstream Young Tommy. Young Tommy making his debut here tonight in France, and 20 laps to go. The French Grand Prix. BP is now putting a squeeze on Troy, because he can see New Potato just waltzing off in in the foreground there, and that is not what BP wants, is it? Because BP surely has to be in the conversation there for the Grand Prix win. Bradfield having a strong race in third position still. Ushas the opposite, doesn't he, where he has a good qualifying and a difficult race. Not tonight though. He's having a good qualifying and a good race, albeit he has dropped down a couple of positions. Look, his FIFA beef there is really putting on the full beans head of that Ferrari powered car up the inside. Not quite in, because Bradfield braking so much there. He has gone deep then, and I'm really impressed with the lack of penalty so far. Look at Farfar is in a position. He's not shy to stick his nose in, is he? We're on board with Farfar as well. This is great action there. Oh, tipping FIFA in the at the rear as well. Good stuff. So we've got New Potatoes still 8/10 of a second there. He is not out of the DRS train just yet, because I think Troy has put a bit of a spurt on here at this stage of proceedings, and good stuff. So back on board with Farfy is 3/10 of a second back in the moment. This is what you mean by the DRS train then. Look at all the drivers and they're just in the DRS zone then, and they just can't get by because every car in front has the DRS, and it's just making it difficult to overtake the car in front. But I think the FIFA VP is looking very keen there to get past Bradfield. Of course, the distinctive salmon pink helmet then in the Ferrari in car 19 then, and he's been I've got to say FIFA VP, he's had 2 stints for ALR. His first stint now, he was very good, but the second stint, his current stint, has been absolutely amazing. He came back as a reserve driver, and really he's a changed man, isn't he? Magnificent performance there, and he's also had pole position as well this season in silver, and possibly should have won the Grand Prix. Perhaps it was a great battle, wasn't it, for the top 4 in China, which I think it was Gamer that just about won the Grand Prix that day. Going across the line once again, New Potato is now out of DRS. Then he is now out of DRS. That is a crucial part of the Grand Prix, I feel, back in this battle between Slayer, making his second Grand Prix start in silver. This is his first Grand Prix start for Mercedes, so having a strong start in the Mercedes. Both Mercedes are not in their usual drivers up until this point. Now a Gamer missing tonight, and Sean Hammer's unfortunately having to step down there, but I would hopefully we'll see Sean Hammer's back in a not too distant future. Of course, he's a great driver, isn't he, Sean Hammers is, and he's already had a Grand Prix win in ALR as well. Of course, he won that incredible French Grand Prix last season. The French Grand Prix, sorry, the Russian Grand Prix last season. A magnificent race that was in silver, wasn't it? And just having a look coming down into the chicane as well. Look at this then as well. We've got the Alfa Romeo of a New Potato, and that is now 1.2 seconds up. Then Troy is now starting to become a bit of a stopgap now, isn't he? With these Q cars, and there he is. And I say a stopgap, but look at that, 6/10 of a second in a Formula 1 car. Doesn't look like anything at all, does it? But it really is, and it's about the dirty air in these very big impressive machines. New Potato has a 3-second penalty. That is crucial in the Grand Prix, absolutely crucial indeed. Then New Potato's going to have to gain a 3-second gap over Troy. He overtook Troy about 2 laps ago, and he's gone up to a second then, which sounds easy, doesn't it now? But it is very difficult, isn't it? Oh goodness gracious me! Then Troy is going into very much that's going to help Troy, isn't it? And really start to encourage him, isn't he? Into the pits. Here comes Curly then. So Curly in the pits, and he's the first driver then to blink. He is going for the undercut. The undercut was very powerful last night, yet the conditions weren't as hot. So, but let's see what Curly can do. He comes to the pits and throwing on the hard tires until the end of the race now. He is in and out. Good time indeed then. So is he going to get in front of Bullet? I don't think he is then. 3-second penalty for Brabant as well. There is a nice gap though between Gordo and Bullet, and so Curry's going to come out in this gap, and he can really now set some qualifying lappers and then some hot laps then for Curly. And look back with this battle here, then Farford still stuck behind FIFA 1. It's a bit of status quo here in the Grand Prix at the moment, isn't it? It's not a lot has happened then. However, I say not a lot's happening then. We've got 4 drivers with 3-second penalties, and those penalties are going to be crucial, I think, in this race then. And now young Tommy, who dispatched Curly earlier on then, is right underneath the gearbox of Maldonado in 10th position. And Maldonado had a bit of a difficult start, and Brabant has got 2 penalties, has got a 5-second penalty. Oh dear, that's not good good at all there for Brabant then, is it? That's quite a big corner cut then for Brabant. He looks like he is struggling to defend now as he's 4 seconds behind TK. That is the biggest gap throughout the whole of the field, apart from Curly and the drivers of the back there. So it's not the biggest gap at all, is it? So I'm speaking absolute hogwash. Into the pits then comes as a Troy's in the pits. New Potato has stayed out there. Nazareth's advantage of being the front runner. I'm not sure when to go in the pits, and look at all these drivers and they're all coming in the pits to go in, and they're trying to make sure that they don't get full foul. The undercut, the track position is key. Look, the Ferraris have come in at the same time, and that's going to cause FIFA the almighty amount of misery. Maldonado's got a 3-second penalty as well. Oh dear then, and there's a FIFA coming out of the pits. Well, I'm wondering then, I'm wondering how much Curly might have made up then if they didn't come in the pits. Right, reacted straight from the get-go. Curly out of the final turn, and he's going to be in front of FIFA after that horrific pit stop as well. No, yes, he's behind FIFA, Curly is then. Yeah, even with that appalling stop then, FIFA is still in front then. New Potato still leads the moment, 5 seconds in front. Bradfield has got past Jake Wilson there, and that is crucial for Bradfield. Has he got the pace then to get away? These drivers who haven't elected to come in just yet, I think the likes of Farf probably didn't really have much to say about it. It's Wilson's back on the no, listen, it's Slayer. There's too many Jakes, and it's just Slayer then who's back in the second position. Bradfield is dropped down into third position. Farf is just lingering in the background at the moment in a fourth position. And these drivers haven't got any penalties at all. This could elevate above the standards later on then. Let's see, it's now up into 10th position. Good 17th. Ayrton up into 11th position as well. Baz up into 9th, and Brabant up into 8th position. And these drivers going to come in the pits. And New Potato has come in the pits. And now all of them come in the pits. And Bradfield is staying out there. This is a crucial part of the race. And Bradfield then feels it might be better to have fresher tires towards the end. We're on board with the race leader. He has a 3-second penalty. Look at the mechanics, and they're ready now then. And they're ready for the race leader. He's coming in the pits, and he is changing onto the hard tires. And the question is though, where's the early stoppers then? As I'm trying to have a look because I'm completely lost in this race, which is standard stuff. But Troy then is there's New Potato. Look at on the map, and he's taking the lead, and there it is. And Potato is just dropping on it. Look at BP is up into 7th position, getting past Potato. Reacting one lap later has cost Potato dearly. He's lost 3 positions in this event here. Now Nigel is up into 8th position as well. So look at that then. One lap has really cost New Potato the lead of the Grand Prix. Oh goodness gracious me then. And BP on the awful Red X there. That is that's an appalling development there for New Potato. And it's going to be very difficult for him to get himself back into contention in this race. And Jake the Slayer all over Billett then. Billett is on the 11 lap of medium tires, same as Steve and Bradfield, the only other drivers that have not come in the pits in this stage of the race. And Slayer up in the 10th position as well. Farf getting past Serious Mushroom, and that is a good overtake from Farf. We only seen the end of that, then he is over to 12th position there, and away he goes. And we've got, look at this, Curly then is in that 16th position, and he came in the pits a couple laps earlier than Maldonado, a lap earlier than FIFA as well. Bradfield now in the pits. How much time is Bradfield going to lose? TK is staying out there, so he leads the race then with Baz in second, and Steve in third position at the moment. Now, Steve is looking strong on those medium tires, but he now elects to come into the pits. And so the hard runners, I wonder if they might go onto the soft tires towards it. And we haven't even seen We haven't even talked about the strategy, have we? We got Cryptic Alibi asking, how is young Tommy doing? Young Tommy in 17 for the moment, but he has just come into the pits, and as the field is starting to try and sort themselves out then. But young Tommy is right underneath the rear wing of Curly. Then Curly, oh goodness me, Curly there darting to the inside. They're getting very violent on the back straight there. Curly is, and goodness me, as he was really oh my gosh, there in the FIFA. I think it's just got past Maldonado then, and up into 30th position. FIFA, unfortunately, FIFA came in the exact same lap that his teammate nudged, and that's really costing. That's the problem of having 2 very competitive drivers in ALR, isn't it? Where you have to share all teams only have 1 pit garage, 1 pit box, don't they? So you can't service 2 cars at the same time, and that's really hurt the Ferrari, hasn't it? New Potato though has gone back up into 6th position. Now he's past Nigel, and also Bradfield has got past Billy as well. Incredible race, and then it started to really come alive at this second stage of proceedings, and good stuff, and TK still leading at the moment, and BP is up the inside, he's going for the lead in the French Grand Prix, he's up the inside, he forces Troy off the race there, off the track slightly. BP leads the Grand Prix, well, he's in fourth position at the moment then, but he is, but at the moment he is going to take the lead when everyone comes in and sorts out there as pit stops there, so BP leads, but there is 3 cars in front of us that BP is going to have to overtake then, and locking up the inside, the front tire there for BP, so Troy is going to have to really stay in his coattails here, isn't he? Look there is Slayer there, he is not out of this race either, this is great racing, BP has had a fast up the race there, and he is on course for his first Grand Prix win in ALR Silver. Impressive stuff indeed there for BP, very impressive indeed then. And on board then with Troy at the moment. Young Tommy is at Serious Mushroom now. Has got past Billet and moved up into Orhazi. Look at this Billet there. Oh, goodness me. And Billet's been spun off there. As Serious Mushroom now just slammed the door shut there on the Haas car. Now feeding the toe. Oh, that was very much slamming the door on those toes there of Billet. He has dropped down into 12th position. Then FIFA, someone else overtook it. I think it was Young Tommy who has got past Curly as well. Young Tommy back up into 14th position there on a strong drive here. BP has dropped down there. Oh goodness me, what is occurring here? I have no earthly idea then, but look, Troy is back into 4th position. BP is down into 5th. Oh good gracious me then, and look at this BP, he's going for it. Oh my goodness me, he's going to the inside into the very fast right-hander. That's amazing. BP retakes the lead on the French Grand Prix. Magnificent performance there from the Racing Point driver, and only his 3rd Grand Prix start in silver. Magnificent stuff indeed. Troy is not out of this one yet, is he? Nigel is back in front of New Potatoes while they're swapping places left, right and centre, and they is after you, good sir. Is that what they're saying in this race at the moment? Great stuff indeed then. Ooh. Oh, I got to take a breather at the moment. Oh, goodness me. That 15 out of 27, and TK leads the Grand Prix 6.6 seconds. Then Baz the second, then, but his teammate Ayrton, he's just pulling him along at the moment. BP is now 2.5 seconds behind both the Alpha Taris. Troy in 5th position. Nigel in 6th, then with New Potato in 7th position, while Slayer is now gaining on this battling a quartet here. He is down to 3.7 seconds. The gap is between Potato and between Slayer. Then Bradfield is in 9th position. Is also catching him 10th position as well. This is going to be a battle royale if we ain't careful. I love it. Amazing stuff indeed then. Really good stuff. And back on board Troy. Look at this, and look at how much he's gaining. That's incredible. That's 4 beans on the Renault power car, and he is now back in 4th position now. Good stuff indeed then. Great stuff from Troy. But remember what happened last time then, as BP is going to do the same trick indeed then, but this time Troy then is really launched off for that chicane. I see FIFA has got past Serious Mushroom as well, and up into oh goodness me, Serious Mushroom jumping down the order. He is, oh goodness me, and Young Tommy as well. Serious Mushroom there very much on the back foot here. He has dropped down the order as well. He's got a Haas off the track then. They got a Haas off. It's Billy who's gone off there. Billy has gone off then. Where is he? He's there he is. He's come back on now. I know, going to this Bats' battle here. Oh, goodness me, and look at this, Potatoes on the inside. That's a cracking manoeuvre. We don't see him moving over there very often then. Did Nigel make a mistake, or did Potato just position his car absolute sweeter than that then? Whatever the case may be, he's now in the 6th position then. The hard runners in front down come the pitch just yet. I'm wondering then if they're going to trying to eke out these tyres then, and maybe going to soft tyres perhaps, and 10 laps on the softs don't seem like a lot, but around here it can be quite a, oh goodness me, it can be quite mammoth indeed then. We got Dylan saying, go on Tommy having a good having a strong race. He really is indeed. He's up in the 13th and in front of Serious Mushroom, who's usually the usual Williams driver then. But is having a nightmare now, isn't he? He's unfortunately hasn't paired on the medium tires. He's down in 20th position now, and he's still off again. I think those tires are going to be screaming hot then after he's had his issues at this corner here, the last lap down into the chicane. So that's unfortunate. TK at the moment is still pulling away from the 2 Alpha Tauri drivers, and now Troy is running underneath the rear wing of Ayrton. Then Ayrton hasn't paired yet, nor the top 3 haven't paired at this stage proceeds. And look at the background as well, it's getting very tasty indeed. Then now Troy's going to go on the inside of Ayrton. Where is he? There he is, and Troy is through up into 3rd position there. Ayrton dropping down to 4th. Ayrton, of course, said, as we've mentioned, he's on 15 lap old tires along with Baz and TK as well. Then so the Alpha Tauri drivers then are hoping to have a bit of a strong end to the Grand Prix, and throwing on a set of medium or soft tires then as well. Theo saying go Slayer and Tommy then having a great drives, and they both from a weekend night race then, so it's great to see them in ALR. Of course, the partnership is absolutely thriving here tonight, isn't it? Great stuff indeed. And both drivers on a magnificent drives. Into the pits comes TK and Baz. Ayrton probably would have liked to come into the pits as well. He's now right underneath the rear wing of Ayrton. BP is. He's up the inside, then locking up the inside Fred, and he is through. And look at this, and it just shows how much life is in Ayrton's tires now, and they're really struggling now. And New Potatoes now at the inside, passes Ayrton up into third position, and now New Potato has got a pace into to keep up with the front two drivers that he was leading this race, wasn't he? Until the pit stops happened, and he came in the pits a lap too late. Then the undercut is very powerful around here, isn't it? One lap too slow, and now is it, wasn't it? Unfortunately for New Patel, the pole sitter. And look at Ayrton, he's very quick in the straight line, isn't he? Down this back straight, and but at the moment Nigel and Ayrton are going side by side up the inside, passes Ayrton, and Nigel is now then still within DRS of the top four. So that's a crucial part of this race as well. Welshman are very close at. Oh, goodness me, Welshman flipping the finger there of FIFA BP. Goodness me, as the hand was coming up out of the cockpit, I was getting very close, isn't it here? And FIFA is still in ninth for this, and it is very close indeed. Look at Maldonado adjusting the settings on the steering wheel, going through. Oh my goodness me, that very fast kink, or right kink there, impressive stuff indeed there. Maldonado going into the chicane now, really not happy at all. That is, as the driver's hand was coming out of the cockpit there, she was very unhappy there, and probably waving a fist then at FIFA BPSA. He was probably getting a bit too close for comfort there. Oh goodness gracious me, then on board then with Maldonado once again then, but she has dropped down 10 position at the moment. FIFA's got no penalties at the moment. This is crucial. Ayrton staying out then. Soft tires has gone on for Baz then, and TK has gone on to the medium tires then, so that is going to be getting very interesting indeed. Both Williamses are still in 11th in 12th position, but young Tommy doesn't have any penalties at the moment, and we'll keep an eye on that, because that is going to that might propel him up a few positions in the Grand Prix later on then. So good stuff indeed there for young Tommy there. A very strong debut here in ALR Silver. Pretty good stuff indeed. I tip my toupee off to you, good sir. It does look like I have a bit of a wig on at the moment then, but I assure you it is real, because I wouldn't pick a ginger wig, or would I? I probably would actually, because yes, I think redheads are very smart looking. That's what I say anyway. BP is down into third position because Potato, who can stop this man tonight? I think the only person that can stop this man tonight is the track limits, because he's got a 3-second penalty. FIFA and Maldonado are once again there very much at each other's tires and wings and all other bits and pieces there. They are getting very close, and they, but look at this, as Maldonado once again there. No DRS there. Look at this, this DRS train. Farf is underneath the rear wing of Bradfield as well. That door's going to shut Farf. Oh no, it isn't, because Farf is snagged up and under. Bradfield's on the outside there. Remember, oh goodness me, remember in bronze there, Energetics and Patel had an absolutely epic battle here, didn't they? Unfortunately, only lasted for about 6-7 laps there. His Energetics had some issues there. Ayrton's out in the pits as well then. So now Potato then, he is taking the lead once again. Can he do it again? Then this is a very impressive performance there for a New Potatoes then. Hashtag Tommy for President, Cryptic Alibi, Tommy for President, Dylan Clark, Tommy for President. And yes indeed then, he is flying the flag beautifully for Williams, and he should be the president of Williams. Fantastic. Ayrton's out in the pits on the soft tires there, and going for a strong end to the Grand Prix. 20 cars still in this race at the moment, and absolutely great stuff indeed then. Once again then, lack of retirements in the ALR is quite impressive at the moment. Really good stuff indeed. Bradfield then, who lost out to Farf last time, but this time he's got DRS, he's got ERS, he's deploying ERS, and Bradfield's up and underneath the rear wing of Farf. He's alongside Farf, he's past Farf, and back up into 7th position as well. Farf dropping down into 7th, and Welshman Otto's got past FIFA again there, but these two just cannot stop it. Oh, then once again they're banging these side pods, and now Serious Mushroom's got involved as well, and Welshman Otto then, who has opened the door for Serious Mushroom there to slip through and into 9th position there, and down into oh, Maldonado then just went for the lunge there, and she is off the circuit. She hasn't damaged the car. Oh goodness me then, and I think there might have been a bit of frustration there from Maldonado. She's down in 13th position there, and young Tommy is now right underneath underneath his teammate's rear gearbox at the moment. We just seen that Gordo's got a puncture as well, and so we're having a bit of a nightmare. Gordo is down in 19th position. Both Haas drivers are 19th and at 20th here today on a bit of a nightmare Grand Prix, and Troy is now gap is down to 6 tenths per second, 6 tenths per second for BP as well. I'm loving this, and Bradfield is half a second behind far for the moment. FIFA BP then is lost a Renault driver, and now he's got a Williams driver behind him in the terms of a serious motion now. So FIFA unfortunately doesn't have too much of a reprieve here. Welshman nodded then. Unfortunately, he's got a 3-second penalty for her troubles as well. Then it's yes, I think that it's a bit of a day late and a dollar short then, wasn't it? So we got Sam saying, "Oh, Becca." We've also got Cryptic Alibi saying that he has clipped it as well. Then so it's a bit of a double whammy there, isn't it? So unfortunately, we caught it on the stream as well. And TK is on the inside, passes Tommy, there it is, third time's a charm then. Oh no, oh goodness me, then look, then it's New Potato, it's got a 3-second penalty, he's trying to go for underneath, Troy as well, so Troy has the high ground. Remember that Obi-Wan did in Star Wars as well, and look how that turned out then. I don't think it's going to be as extreme for New Potato, but he has a 6-second penalty to his name as well. That is going to drop him down to 4th, I think, 4th at the very least then. Oh, this is an incredible race there for New Potato, but the penalties are really hurting him at the moment. Lack of penalties up and down the field is going to really hurt him, and he might be hoping that some of the other drivers which are there into the Grand Prix might have a couple of issues then with tires, which might cause some understeer issues. Well, absolutely magnificent race has been. I've absolutely enjoyed this one from start to finish. And 7 laps to go in the race. Brilliantly comments as well, guys. Keep it coming in. Fantastic stuff, Ben. Indeed, and you're very much keeping me on my toes, then. And these drivers are indeed 20 cars are still running. Then it is New Potato who's a lead. No, he's leading now. He is leading the Grand Prix. There he is. Then he's got a clear track. New Potato has 1 lap younger hard tires as well. He now needs to get there. Now needs to get his toe down, doesn't he? And move out the slipstream then, and move out the DRS range as well. And if he can, then this is what he needs to do. He needs to gain 6 seconds in 6 laps, and it's quite difficult to do, isn't it? So he's going to probably hope that Troy, who doesn't get many penalties at the best of times, get a penalty then as well. As we've just Cryptic Alibi just asked for the penalties. Asking you shall receive, my good man. A New Potato is on 6 seconds worth of penalties. Farf has got 6 seconds as well. Bradfield has 3. FIFA has 3. Cirrus Mushroom has 3. 6 seconds for Curly and Welsh Maldonado. 6 seconds for Brabbit. 3 seconds for Ayrton and 3 seconds for Billet as well. Lack of penalties. They're very impressive indeed, isn't it? Coming up to the line again. The New Potato's already gained 8 tenths per second out on that lap alone then, so he does have the pace, but can he use it? TK is now up into 9th position now then, and look at this, TK is on the fresher medium tires. Gordo's just got past Wilson and moved up into 18th position as well in the back of the batter. Unfortunately, Gordo and Wilson had to pit earlier on then, and because of that then they've really been in the back of the field ever since then, so a bit of a difficult day there for those two drivers. Curly's got no penalty. He's got 9 seconds worth of penalty. Curly has, as he is battling in the midfield of this race at the moment, and look at this as TK is trying to go up and under. Oh, a bit of sunshine there, right into the eyes there. Oh my goodness me, Gordo is off the circuit at the I think it's down at turn 11, I think, and that's unfortunate for Gordo, isn't it? It's him and Wilson were quite close together, and just now on board then. Look at this, TK is gaining. He has a tyre advantage now, doesn't he? He's on the medium tires there, out the inside, passes Mushroom. Jobs are good, and then I think TK can propel himself right up into potentially he can propel himself right up into 6th position here if he plays his cards right. Ayrton and Steve then are having a game of musical chairs here. Ayrton is on the soft tires. He gets past Steve and moves up into 16th for 15th for this there. But Steve is not giving up, is he? He's right into the rear of Ayrton. He's got to have a look on the inside. Then he's still on the inside of Ayrton as well. Look at this that onboard footage sent from Steve. But Ayrton has it. He has the high ground. He is done, and he is now in 15th position as well. Good stuff indeed then. And I got a bit of a nasty sweat patch there. Oh gosh. Anyway, enough about that then. We're back to the action. TK is now on 4/10 of a second behind FIFA. FIFA is 3 seconds behind Bradfield, and at the moment Bradfield will keep his position, but I think Bradfield, Farf and FIFA is going to be concerned about this man here, TK. New Potato is a second in front, but I think that New Potato is probably battling for just a podium place now. Troy could be on course for his first Grand Prix win since the Monaco Grand Prix 2 races ago. Maldonado's got another penalty, and it's now up to 9 seconds. It's all coming and done there for Maldonado and Curly. Unfortunately for both those two drivers then. Cryptic saying a few more pens in front, and Tommy keeps it clean. We could jump over a few good places there. Dylan Clark agrees with him as well. Yes, indeed. So Tommy has no penalties currently. So Tommy will get in front of Serious Mushroom, and will he get in front of? I think he will get in front of FIFA Beefy as well, I would say. So good stuff indeed there for young Tommy. Maldonado's got another penalty. I think she's driving angry at the moment there. It is the thing with Silver at the moment. It's absolutely incredible, isn't it? Because 1 week Maldonado and Curdy was first and second in the Canadian Grand Prix. The next week they're in 12th and 13th. It's so competitive, isn't it, here at the moment now? You don't know who is going to do what in the races. What we do know is that Troy once again then is just being an absolute what is he being? Consistent. That's he's been an absolute consistency machine, isn't he? I think I've been on air for far too long tonight, don't I? I need to lie down then. Ooh, too much action in this race for me, isn't there? Gold was enough then, but tonight we've gone even further up the action scale, haven't we? Incredible. TK then is I wonder if the medium tire is starting to go off now, because he's not all over the back of FIFA Beef as much as he was earlier on then. 24 out of 27, and still 20 cars are left in the race then. Absolutely hats off indeed then to all the silver drivers and doing a pretty impressive job. And I gotta say, excuse me. Oh, that's better there. I gotta say then, hats off to the likes of Wilson and Gordo and Billet there for not calling it a day, and Brabbit as well down in 70th position. Hats off to all those drivers who've done a magnificent job of still being in this as well. And hats off to TK as he is now up into 8th position again, past FIFA down into 9th, and there's a bit of cloud cover coming over, isn't it? I think Wilson said then there's a bit of overcast coming later on in the race, and so no rain we expect then in this race. And like last night, then, of course, it was raining for about 10 laps this time last night, wasn't it? Critic Galaboy saying he jumps Mushroom and FIFA at the moment. If Far from Bradfield get one more penalty, he can jump both and he can close that gap a bit then. So that is young Tommy's aim for the remainder of the race, isn't it? If he wants to get into as potential 6th position here then. And Farf does have a 6-second penalty, doesn't he? I'm thinking, did he just get that recently, or is that just me making it up as I go along? I think it might be me making it up as I go along. Going back to the tyre strategy at the moment then. So Troy has 14 laps, same with BP and Nigel as well. The most, those are the most with the most lappage at the moment. I think Curly's has the most laps altogether though, with 15 at lappage on those hard tyres as well. Baza flying through the field then. Ayrton has got past Maldonado and moved up into 14th position then, as he is having a strong end to the Grand Prix. Is he going to be able to get into the top 10? He has got about 5 seconds between himself and the top 10. Ayrton does have a 3-second penalty, which may cost him points then, but he is not giving up, is he? And so he shouldn't either then, because there's a lot that could happen then with 3 laps to go. So New Potato is now dropped off our blistering pace, and is dropping back into the clutches now of Troy, and Troy is keeping it with very much within the 3-second gap. Maldonado's got a 15 second worth of warnings now. Troy is second, BP in third position, Nigel in fourth, then he is 5 seconds away. Then Nigel unfortunately hasn't been able to keep up the pace, and he's now dropping to the back of Jake the Slayer, who might be able to get himself into fourth position, and Farf in 6th position, but he is really having to start to defend now between Bradfield and himself. Bradfield on a strong Grand Prix in the McLaren, and they have TK though, which is very much coming at a right old rate of knots in 8th, FIFA in 9th, Serious Mushroom in 10th, but young Tommy doesn't have any penalties in 11th position, and having a great debut. Young Tommy is. Curly in 12th position, 13th is Baz, with Ayrton in 14th as well. Both the AlphaTauri drivers said are potentially in for points then later on this Grand Prix. 15th for Steed then, no penalty for Steed then. 16th for Maldonado, she's dropping like a stone, unfortunately. What's going on? Curly's in the pits then, so he's in the pits then, and I'm wondering if he's going on these soft tires then, and going for the fastest lap then. And Curly has said it's Unfortunately, Curly just it doesn't seem like he's had the pace here tonight, has he? It's been a very difficult Grand Prix, hasn't it, for the midfield runners, hasn't it? Really battling very hard indeed. And there's Gordo just in this bar as well. I was getting confused as I seen the Haas in between. A BP is just sitting there, and I'm wondering if he's aiming for a last ditch overtake then right at the very end of this race. Then so that is going to get very interesting indeed. Bradfield is very close to the back of far two, not close enough though if he wants to get past. So he's going after just sit and wait his turn there. Maldonado is very much accumulating a lot of penalties now. She's up to 18. Unfortunately, it's a bit of a nightmare race then for the Grand Prix winner in Canada. Troy is still 4 tenths of a second, but he cannot rest on his laurels, Troy can't, because BP would love to go for his first Grand Prix win here tonight. And who was that? My God, I say then that was getting very close then. I think that's a Haas. It is a Haas billet there, getting very close as that winner stand. I thought that was a I didn't think that was a lap car. And look at how dull it's got all of a sudden. I got to say this French Grand Prix seems to have its own weather system, doesn't it? Critical bias then down Tommy has fallen off the back of Mushroom then, which is a bit of a shame now, isn't it, for young Tommy? But he's still on course for some points, though, isn't he? Jake the Slayer is really putting the hammer down as well. Billet is on course there for perhaps his first ever fast up in his career then in the Haas. Good stuff did them, but I think that Curly is trying to go for it as well, as he has found a bit of a lovely track there out there, hasn't he? Jake the Slayer, though, is aiming for 4th position now from Nigel. He might just have one and done effort here, but let's see that he's on the DRS as well. Then I keep seeing raindrops. I think it's because it's really overcast, isn't it? But of course, it shouldn't matter now, as we've had a very hot day here in Paul Ricard. Nigel can't defend now because Jake the Slayer is going up the inside. But look at this, that is no Nigel there slamming the door shot on Slayer, and the Slayer may not be too impressed with that there. Nigel there being very robust there, isn't it? It's very tight. There's a pinch zone, isn't there, into that chicane then. And as a Cryptic saying, no, Jake, save the earth for the straight after. As Ayrton's now got past his teammate and is up in the 12th position. Maldonado, I think he's up to 21 seconds worth of penalties now. And I think I've got to say, she's won the penalty race today, hasn't she? We're on the final lap of the French Grand Prix. A new potato is going to cross the line first, but it's going to be Troye who is going to come across the line to take his 5th Grand Prix win of this season and his 5th Grand Prix win of his career as well. Troye wins the French Grand Prix, and again he's back on top step of the podium as well. He hasn't been on the top step of the podium since the Monaco Grand Prix, and that was a good race indeed. Then I feel that New Patel then did have the pace today, didn't he? But unfortunately got those penalties there. That's really cost him, hasn't it? And a yellow flag there on the pitch today as well. And young Tommy does get points on his debut. Good stuff indeed. Then TK has elevated himself at the 6th position as well. FIFA in at 10th position, and FIFA 10th position. Serious version just outside the points 11. Steve, good driving, 12th position in the end. And just as we're just watching. We was just watching Troy as well then. Welsh Maldonado then, unfortunately she's going to be dropping down like a stone then, as she has got an awful lot of penalties. But Troy then is celebrating the race win here tonight then. Fantastic, isn't it, for Troy? Back on the top step of the podium then, and he is now also extending his lead in the World Championship, which is definitely what the doctor's ordered, really, wasn't it? Brilliant stuff indeed then. Good stuff there in Renault have won once again, haven't they? They've really accumulated a lot of race wins this season, and I think that is actually, if I get my old calculator out, it's a 6th Grand Prix win the season, 1 for Maldonado, 5 for Troye as well, and great stuff indeed then. So Troye then is going to be absolutely delighted with that. He has now got quite a healthy lead in the World Championship as well. 2nd position for BP, his best finish of his career in silver. Good stuff indeed for BP, and I think he enjoyed that. And in 3rd position there is New Potato then. I feel this might have been a Grand Prix win loss there for Potato today, because he was absolutely on it, and a very strong performance indeed, one of the strongest of the season in my opinion then. Final look at the classification then from the French Grand Prix. Lack of penalties then for the top six was amazing. Only New Potato got a penalty there, unfortunately. Troy, fifth Grand Prix win of his career. BP in the second position and his best result of his career. New Potato in third. Nigel in fourth position. Jake the Slayer, his best result of his silver career thus far, and only a second Grand Prix start. TK in sixth position. Bradfield is fourth on his second Grand Prix start for silver as well. His first points as well. Young Tommy, his debut, and getting points for Williams. FIFA Beefy in 10th position now, and the final point for the Ferrari team. And then position is Serious Mushroom in the Williams outside the points. DM 12, Baz in 13th, Ayrton 14th, Curly 15th, Brabbit 16th, Martin on 17th, Wilson 18th, Gordon 19th, and Billet in 20th position, and also getting the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. So good stuff indeed there for Billet there, but I think that's I think it's been a very, very difficult day indeed though, hasn't it, for Billet and the Haas team as well. Taking a look at some of the comments then before we interview the drivers in the gantry. We've Formula 1 was saying got hit wide at last lap, avoided a spin, and will take a P5 then. Of course, it was very close between himself and Nigel. Serious much and don't know what happened, some dodgy driving then. Formula 1 said, love the battle with Bradfield. Wilson saying his race one lap was ruined there. Young Tommy, sorry, Mushroom extending the gap enough to keep you in front there. Bullet very happy as he's got the fastest lap as Curly was so close indeed. Then Colin saying, great race, well done everyone, great comms too. I have to read that comment out because, of course, it's a compliment to me, obviously. Anyway, then, enough about me. Let's quickly get on to the heroes of the day, which is the drivers themselves. And Troy, I got to say, you've had a bit of a drought then. You haven't won the last two Grand Prix, but you're back on top step of the podium here tonight, and your fifth Grand Prix win of the season. Then, but it was a great battle between yourself, BP, Nigel, and of course New Potato as well.
Yeah, definitely feels good to be back on the top step of the podium. We had a great battle. I think it was my most difficult race so far, really. These two gave me a very good battle, and Nigel as well. And yeah, you just had to think a bit more during this race than the previous races, really.
And what do you mean by that? By think a bit more? Is that down to strategy because you came in the pits one lap earlier than New Potato? Then do you think that was that the race winning call?
That's part of it probably, but when I'm saying thinking a bit more, I'm not only talking about strategy. I'm talking about I was just you really had to manage your ERS and fuel a lot here, and sometimes it was more beneficial to let the guy through and let him lead the field for a bit, and so you could harvest. So when I saw that Potato got them penalties, I felt that there's really no point fighting it, and I'd rather have him leading the field really, and just stay behind him and make my life a bit easier, I guess.
You did look very comfortable there as well. Going on to your championship, you are extending the lead once again. We're coming up to the halfway point of the championship now. Are you thinking about the championship still, or is it too early?
Of course, I'm thinking about the championship, and if you're the leader of the championship, of course that's what you're going to think about. But at the same time, I really want to get a couple of wins on the way, and not really just go for points. And unfortunate that Gamer couldn't race once again, really. I get quite a big gap now down to him because of that. But I'm just going to continue race by race and try to get that race win, really.
Really good stuff. Well done, Troy. A fantastic race. I really enjoyed that as well. Let's come to BP, who finished second today. BP, that's your best result in ALR Silver. And I've got to say that you four at the top there is having an absolutely epic battle there. Did you think that the race win was on at any point today then, or did you feel that the DRS train was just too strong?
Well, first of all, congrats to the winner, Troy. I think my setup was not good enough. I lacked a lot of straight line speed, which on the straight was just terrible. I could just see them disappear. But all three of us, and Nigel included, had very good pace. And like Troy said, you were constantly thinking about what to do with the ERS, if you're gonna pit it up earlier. And I saw that Troy, for example, always was quite low in ERS because I saw his light flashing at the back of his car. So I was trying to save it up in the last few laps, so I really saw, I saw the win coming, but yeah, I made a mistake. Then I was outside of the DRS, and had to use the ERS, and then all of my charged ERS was gone, and yeah, at the end it was half a second too short, but it was a really good race. Happy and disappointed at the same time.
Just talking about the strategy then. Did you ever think about doing the opposite to what Troye did, where maybe staying out a lap later, or did you think that did you think that that was just not worth the time you was going to lose?
Well, in my mind, I already was going for the undercut. I was just trying to see what the rest does. And yeah, of course, if you see somebody going for the undercut because Troye was in front of me at that moment, yeah, you just have to go with it because otherwise you will lose too much time because you will not have the DRS, and I was also quite low in ERS at that moment in the race. So yeah, I think still it was the best strategy call, and yeah, very happy that I didn't got any penalties, just got one warning, and that's yeah, looks like improvement for me. So quite happy with that.
I know. Just to finish, then you've had third, you've had a second, you've got one more step to complete the set. Then going into Austria in a week's time. Then how are you feeling? Then do you think you can get your first win then in ALR?
Yeah, I hope so. I actually thought today was going to be the day because I really like France. I think that's a very rare opinion, but yeah, the race is coming after France, like Austria, Silverstone. Yeah, I really like them, so hopefully I've got good pace also around there, and then yeah, who knows, maybe get my first win.
Good stuff indeed. Well done, BP. Cracking race today. Absolutely amazing stuff. And let's come to New Potato today. New Potato. We'll start off with qualifying first, then, because you had an absolutely incredible pole position, and really impressive stuff indeed. You could have gone quicker as well, but it was very close towards the end. Then between yourself and I think it was BP who got second in the end. Then, but a very good qualifying performance. Indeed, and that's your sixth pole position of your career now. You're just one behind getting into second. And is your aim to get the most pole positions then, which I think Glock's got at the moment with 15? Do you think that's achievable? And going into the race as well, it seems was you concerned about the undercut then, and about what your rivals were doing, because it was such a close race between yourself and your three competitors today. Did you feel vulnerable with the undercut? Yeah, unfortunately, it was the penalties that cost you today. But I got to say that's probably, even though you got second in Spain, I think that was your strongest performance today. Then going on to Austria in a week's time. Then how are you feeling for the remainder of the championship? Do you want to get that final promotion spot to be in gold? Then is that your aspiration, or do you think that the championship is still open for you? Very honest indeed then. Well done, guys, and brilliant stuff indeed. And that is it for ALR. Not for this week, just for tonight then, because tomorrow night it is going to be Curly and Ayrton who will be taking you through the driver draw for the new bronze season then. They're going to be starting off at the British Grand Prix on the 30th of March then. 20 very new drivers then. They're going to be finding out what teams they will be driving for. So that is going to be very interesting indeed then. So keep an eye out tomorrow, 7:30 UK time, for the bronze driver draw. See you tomorrow. Goodbye.